Here we go, David. I'd like to sing a little song about our next guest and see if you can guess who it is.
Okay.
Will Forte.
But I have one guess so far. I'm not going to say it.
Will Forte. Hey.
Same guess.
Will Forte?
Yes.
Anybody?
Will Forte. I put my shades on so I could hear better. It's a good song. It's a toe tapper. Will Forte, who was in Last Man.
Well, he was
Standing
one of
on
our
Earth.
classic Saturday Night Live
Yes.
cast members.
Mhm.
He does the most eccentric sketches. One involving Jason Sudeikis and potato chips is kind of famous.
Yeah.
So it was so fun to talk to him. His comedy is so eccentric and brilliant, and yet he's such a humble, sweet guy to talk to.
Yeah, he was very sweet, and we went through a lot of the sketches. And Dana, you're very complimentary because he's got so many zigzag type of bits where you don't see where they're going. And
Oh yeah,
He's
the
very
spelling
out
bee
there.
does one a spelling bee. If you've ever seen it, we talk about that one. It's so funny. He is Mr. Commitment.
yeah, commits, perfect for SNL. Just on that. Go ahead.
Mr. Commitment.
I know that. Commitment.
Yeah, can I play and you just sing?
Mr. Commitment. Mr. Commitment.
Okay, there we go.
I was doing it. It was very low.
People,
Sometimes
look, I get letters. I know you're on Instagram and stuff. I
You
get
still
letters.
get letters?
I get letters. I'm old school, and they always say, "Can we like to hear David sing?" So I
No
said,
one.
I'll
My
entice him.
mom told me I had karaoke at my birthday once, and this is a quick story. Ashton Kutcher was there, and
Ashton Kutcher's at your birthday when you're like 10,
when I was 40, so a year ago.
and you're still
So,
okay.
He was anyway. He's a very cool dude. So he comes
Oh,
to
yeah.
the party, and I go to sing "Wanted, Dead or Alive." The bottom line of the story is my mom was at the party and she told me I can't sing, but the middle part of the story is
Wait a minute. The song, how does that go?
I'll do it.
Okay.
So Ashton, we go, let's do this one. So I go, it's all the same, only the name of Jane. You know that song?
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
fucking good, but that's good.
You committed.
Every chair turns around. So I start
It's
singing
like an
that,
episode of The Voice.
and then Ashton jumps out and want it, and I go want it. That background part
That
is very
sounds
important.
pretty good.
And then he sang the rest of it, and I go, you don't get all the good parts. He got both parts. I think he did wanted, and then he did one, and I go, no, that's me. That's all I have left. Because now he's doing both the chorus and the other parts, whatever they're called. Ba, 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 whole song. And at the end,
I've heard this.
at the end,
about-
I gave him a weak high five. My mom was like, he fucked you, dude.
I don't know if that's
He got
true,
you.
but in karaoke, being kind of selfish like that, it's called doing a Kuchner. I don't know if it travels,
That's what
but
it's called.
yeah, doing a Kuchner.
Kutcher.
No, he's good. The thing
Kutcher.
great about Ashton.
We're talking about Will Forte.
Oh.
I know, we sort of drifted off. But
well, when I think of Will Forte, I think of Ashton Kutcher.
no, Ashton, my mom said, in fairness, we all were staring at Ashton, so no one cares if you sang. And I go, I get it. Will Forte, folks.
Ashton Kutcher. Oh no, it's Will Forte, right?
Just end there. That was good. Yeah, we got an Ashton plug. So now Ashton comes on. Ashton should come on. The fuck
I'd love
is he
to have
hosted?
him on. No, he has hosted because he
Oh,
said
yeah.
to the cast, he goes, guys, I know I'm really good looking, but I have hardly any talent, so I'm just going to make as much money as I can. And he's a super.
Did he say that?
Yeah, and he's a super investor. I mean, he's like
He gave everyone when he
hundreds of
left 100 shares of Apple as a parting gift. You know what Will did once, Dana? You won't believe this, because I would never. Fucking, didn't you shave your side of your head?
I did. It was for work.
I know, but it's cool. I don't think I could have done it because I've never been in a job where they didn't want me to look the exact same and be the exact same as the movie before.
I did Racing with the Moon with Sean Penn
Oh.
in 1982 or something. And I'm in the trailer and I'm going to play this kind of wounded, insane soldier. And they're just giving me this crazy military buzz cut, right?
Whoa.
So then Sean Penn comes in. He's also in the military, but he's got this little pompadour and everything. I go, what? Why does Sean get this cool? That's the greatest haircut I've ever seen. And I'm just, but he was, and I had to call him the name of his character. I thought that was hip. Anyway, quick story. This podcast is primarily about me. And so just want to give you a heads up on that.
So Will,
how are you?
for Dana?
How are you? I mean, you have a baby and you're, how are you?
I'm doing great. I have a baby, just got married. We got engaged.
You married your baby?
I married my baby.
I think I'm hearing it wrong.
She's my baby. Yeah.
She's been, no. It's got married, it got engaged the Christmas day, right before the pandemic set in. And then during the pandemic, we're kind of waiting to figure out when to get married. The baby popped up. The baby, which is part of the plan, eventually popped up a little earlier than we thought. And then so we just got married when we were out shooting MacGruber. We kind of realized that all our family was going to come in town to visit. So we said, let's surprise them and get married.
Let me ask you a question, because David's been married a few times. I've only been married once, but it is sort of that, unless someone's completely cynical, there is something like referring to, I know John Mulaney did a bit about, but my wife and my husband and the clarity and the finality of a wedding ring, and here we are. I mean, how do you feel after?
I'll tell you,
how do you feel about that?
It's crazy because you feel very married. And especially when you have a baby, it's like, oh, we are locked in. Yeah. But there's still something really fun about the wearing the ring. I said that it's still kind of fun to say wife now. It's for some reason the weirdest part of it was when I would say fiance. It was just weird to say fiance.
It's like a weird
because it was open ended. Yeah. I was, for years, when I would make love with my partner, my wife, that would be my sex word. Wife, I'm having you, wife. No, I made this up. Sorry.
It's your safe
write
word.
It into a sketch. Well, please, and make it brilliant.
No, I'm telling you, I'm the one that has been married the most, and I think there is something cool about that. I get it. I get it. You just know it. You know what it is. You know where you're at.
It's like one of Laurenisms, and sometimes I don't know if he makes them up or he invents them. Marriage is a prison that everyone's trying to escape into. But then you never heard that one?
I like that.
Brilliant, right? But then you're so happy that you have this parameter in this area that you work from, and then you kind of, all this lovey-dovey stuff keeps coming up, flowing forward. And my family, I got to get my family. I'm taking my daughter here, and my wife's meeting me there. Anyway, I'm trying to get Spade married, so I'm trying.
No, I will say I heard the opposite. Hey, this is what I heard from my dad, and it should be on a T-shirt. This is my dad, because they had a crummy marriage and an ugly divorce. But he said two things: marriage is the only game that two can play and both can lose. And then he said, which is very nice to tell your kid when your mom's right there. And then he said, the fucking you're getting is not worth the fucking you're getting. And I'm like, can I just go to preschool?
You had a good mentor. I mean, I know it sounds funny, but I like that stuff. I mean, yeah, that's very honest. I think that,
but I still wouldn't mind getting married.
Well, would you say your wife is sweet and kind and essentially has just good values and a sense of humor? That'd be the four.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Yeah, she's all those things. She has a tremendous amount of patience, which is something that I basically need in a partner, because I can try
we're
anybody's
out of our minds, nerves. Comedians.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but she's wonderful, and she's a great mom, which is and she's just I really got lucky, because she was just, I was super on board with everything, very in love with her. And then found out she was a great cook.
Whoa.
Here she is, just coming in. She's just somehow on cue.
Can we mic her up? Hello, hi.
There she is. There she is. That's Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
You guys.
I'm either Dana or David.
Congratulations
Dana and David.
On your family. We've heard all about you for the last 90 minutes.
They can't even. Sorry. Now I can. Okay, now I've just.
Gorgeous.
Oh, now I can't. It's still
No,
just
it's good.
trapped in the phone.
Oh, she
She
can't
can't
hear.
hear
Oh,
it.
yeah, anyway,
I'm on the-
we did.
Enjoy your podcast.
She couldn't hear
We
anything.
saw
We were
we,
very
we,
They were
we
saying
saw
nice
her
to meet you.
and yeah, she exudes niceness and sweetness, and then
She's very nice. Her mom is in town right now. We're doing and man, I've scored in that department too. She's got a family I like hanging out
That
with,
is good.
and
Mhm.
just everything is great. Everything is fantastic.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
kind of cool. I just wanted to ask about that because that's a
Really
big
nosy.
experience.
Dana's really got
wife,
a nose
kid.
for news.
You know, it's like,
Wait,
okay,
Where are
Mhm.
you? Where are you guys from? Because Dana, I know you're in Northern California right now, right? Because that's where
well,
I'm from.
I actually have a townhome in West Hollywood where I am right now. So, but I have
Oh,
my
okay.
house in Mill Valley, but I spend a
Yeah.
lot of time down here. And I
But
remember
you're
you're
not,
a Bay
you're not
Area
from
kid.
Mill Valley, are you? Are you
No,
from up
my
there?
wife grew up there.
Okay,
I
okay.
grew up in San Carlos down on the peninsula, where a track
Oh,
home
okay.
is 4 million now. But where
Yeah.
did you grow up in Lafayette?
Yeah, Lafayette and Moraga until I went down to UCLA in '88.
Wow.
So I love it up there. That's always where I wanted to end up.
So
and-
just
and-
quickly, because I did this for like a half hour with Tom Hanks and I got in trouble. But did you have a favorite gift as a kid? Like it could be a bike or an instrument when you were like, between 5 and 10. I'm always just curious about you as a kid.
I would say the thing that first jumped out to me was Stretch Armstrong.
Fuck
That's-
yeah.
Oh,
one vote
okay.
for Stretch.
I love that thing.
That was unreal.
But it was
That was
you
like
know, we-
Gumby, but as a soldier.
And it was
right?
a workout.
Yeah, and bigger than
It-
Gumby.
It was, yeah, and you'd pull the thing until the
Yeah.
arms would come out, and there was like it was, from what I remember, kind of like a sappy blood. It was red colored, whatever
Should
was
not have been
inside
red.
it, making it, gooey.
Yeah,
It was,
And I think it's always fun that the character's name is what
exactly.
they do. His
Yeah.
name is Stretch.
There
and
wasn't
he
much going
stretches.
on. If you look at
I was
toys
wondering
today, like
the
Stretch
origin.
Armstrong, I had one. You just pull it and it gets a little longer and then it goes back and you're like, yay, I don't know. But it was fucking great. I loved it. I don't know. Yeah,
One of
I
my
I loved it.
first stand-up bits when I couldn't write anything, so I just go to toy stores and get props because
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a joke,
Hey,
but I
look at
wanted to
this.
be a comedian. I had a Gumby on stage. I'd hold it up, I'd take it out of a bag, put it up against the mic. I'd pull its legs apart and just make the sound like like I was torturing. And
Hey.
you gotta laugh. I did stuff like you did, but in my early days, everything was avant-garde.
By the way, let me
And
tell
then-
you, when I was looking at this
But
thing,
we'll get around to Will's genius.
no,
but
Will's
later.
just, I'm going to ask him because Dana and I were doing some digging on you. We had a big argument whether you're a genius. It was like a 40-minute. No, we were looking, and the funniest thing I saw on one of these pages was, it says like trivia about you, and it says Forte's humor has been described as bizarre.
quirky.
I
I
love
was
it.
looking
It's
on
like,
a deep
that's a
dive last
compliment.
night, and my wife was over my shoulder, and she just looked very quickly, and she goes, "Now that's funny." I go, "Thanks, honey."
Yeah, I watched. We watched different things last night, but go ahead, Will. Sorry, we were giving you compliments. We were inching into it.
No, it is crazy to hear you guys saying stuff like this, because I'll be honest, I was a little nervous coming on here. I'm such big fans of your guys that I was like, oh, I hope I don't clam up around them. And David, I've seen you so many times. Dana, I only met you once at the SNL 40th, but that was
Fun.
I have
Briefly.
such tremendous respect for you guys and love you guys. You're heroes of mine. So
I would be as an attorney, I would make the case in a courtroom for that you have a lane that's so specific,
Yeah.
and I don't think anyone occupied it in quite the same way. The potato chip, I'm just going with you and Sudeikis, the potato chip NASA thing, John Hamm sex offender, the spelling bee thing, and then the dance where Peyton Manning
Yeah,
ended
I
up
saw that. I
dancing,
just-
and MacGruber sensitivity train. If anyone's listening wants to see what
On YouTube.
I mean, those are pretty good representation. That's a real nice assortment pack.
I had
of
to
what you
dig
did,
on the
and-
Peyton Manning one to go to
Thank you.
Vimeo because YouTube wouldn't show it, so I had to get into a Vimeo situation.
oh yeah, I think it's because of the song. If there's the song that
Mm.
it kicks it out
Oh,
of
they kicked it out.
certain sites because it doesn't want to, pay for the song to be heard over and over again.
Just because we may not get to this later, I just wanted to ask very quickly about MacGruber and Richard Dean Anderson, because I've been watching with one of my sons who's a sci-fi fanatic. We're watching Stargate, and there's 220 episodes. So I become a super fan of Richard Dean Anderson.
Yeah.
And then I know he did that commercial with you and he was on SNL. Just seems like an incredibly nice guy. Anyway, I just wanted to bring him up so I could tell my son I did.
The nicest guy, because we had been doing MacGruber's for a while, and then we got a chance to do a Super Bowl commercial, which Pepsi had approached Lauren and said, "Hey, do you want to take an SNL sketch and turn it into a commercial?" And somehow he picked MacGruber. And then when he told Pepsi that MacGruber was what he wanted to go with, they quickly bowed out and said, "Well, you know what? Maybe we don't want to do a Super Bowl commercial." So Lauren said, "You know what? Let's keep making this thing and just make it good enough that they'll want to do it." So we said, "All right," and rallied the troops, and we did it, and brought Richard Dean Anderson in. And we decided, because there was no guarantee that this was going to go anywhere, we would make a sketch for the show at the same time. So we got to hang around with him for a whole day once, and he was so cool. And he talked about this is way before the movie came about. So he talked all about how he had been watching the MacGrubers with his 10-year-old daughter, and it was very sweet. And then after the movie came out, it took a pretty hard turn into very dirty territory. And I don't think they watched that one together.
I don't know if they saw that one.
I have two. I have two questions,
funny.
Dana. One is
Yes.
just a statement that my first year of SNL, I think I was on about a year and a half, and I was making $1,500 a show or a week. And then I got out of the blue, got offered a Diet Pepsi Super Bowl commercial, and I was so excited. And then my manager, Gervitz, Dana and I have the same guy. He goes, "Still got to run it by Lauren." And I go, "What does Lauren give a fuck?" So I go, "Okay, tell him." And he goes, "Yeah, sorry, he said no." I go, "No what?" I didn't even know that was possible. Like, he said no to my, "It's not, no, not time, not now." And I go, "I think it was 250 grand. I was like, "Baba, I have to." Anyway, so that was a bummer. And then the other thing is, my assistant, sounds so Richie Rich, but this girl that works with me I've known her forever. And she's like a fake assistant because she was just like, we were friends, but she would help me with stuff. So she started dating Richard. And so I would see him here and there. And then she got pregnant, and then that daughter is Wiley, I think. And then that I know her. So I know his daughter, and I know him because I see him through her. So they didn't get married, but they had this great daughter. And I had seen him a few times, and he was a fucking cool dude. And I knew you guys were doing that thing. And I'm like, this is like flattering. It's cool to be part of that whole thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, this was, MacGruber would not exist without MacGyver.
And he was cool. Everyone thought he was cool. This girl was like, all the girls were crazy about it.
In Stargate, what he's doing as kind of a light leading man, and the quips and the way he plays it is like perfection. Anyway, to the commercial.
So good. Yeah.
And it's really not easy to do. And I think he ad-libbed a lot of his lines, but just really good. In 1988, I think, or 89, anyway, Hans and Franz was offered Just Do It, the campaign from Nike.
Yeah.
And it was Just Do It. We were going to start the campaign. And then Lauren had to call me, and I was going to do what, because we all thought we were Bob Dylan or the Beatles or something. So you don't sell out later on. Later on, there were, Conehead oven mitts in the SNL store. But Lauren at the time, it's not what we do here. It's not that thing. And it's like, so.
Of course.
But everyone learned that all the hippies grew up. It's like the movie The Big Chill with, like, oh, we got to get money. It's not corny to make money.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I have a
wait,
question.
can I go back?
I want to hear what you have to say.
Yes.
Oh, I was just going to say, when you bring up Hans and Franz, I will every once in a while go hiking. It's been a while, but hiking with Kevin Nealon.
Right.
And do you keep in touch with him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone that's part of your team when you're there, they're like your soldier buddies.
Yeah. But the sweetest person, I've just, he married, I went through the groundling system with his wife, Susan. you know, I kind of got to know him later on once they were together. But man, what a
So nice and such throwaway dry jokes. He's so clever. He just says
so
stuff.
funny when we would do Hans and Franz, and it was really Kevin's driving element of it that. Once we were on the phone laughing about it, we were trying to create characters. And when Kevin said, yeah, and if you don't think we could do this, we could very easily come to your house. Once we knew we were never going to lift weights, we were only going to scream at this imaginary. We're so paranoid. And if you doubt us, we will do this. But right as we were, the music, we got stuff on, we're on 8H, we're about to start the sketch, and Kevin's just being Kevin Nealon. And then he would look at me, and I swear his whole face, his IQ would go down like 100 points, like in a second. Always made me laugh right before we started. He would just like cross his eyes or something, but he instantly became incredly stupid.
Hear me now, believe me later. I like that one. Listen to me now,
let me
believe
tell
me
you
later.
something. We could stretch your buttocks out. You know, you're like, we could light your butt. You're lucky there's not a campfire here because your buttocks are like soft like marshmallows. You know, that one I did like. I didn't feel
I like Hans
that
and
one.
Franz.
I like the humor, but can we just for a second?
Second.
I don't want to lose the.
Did you have a McBlooper reel?
These sketches that I looked at. I mean, let's take one of them, or you can pick one you want to talk about.
Yeah, or just when you want to talk.
No, you pick it. You pick it.
Okay.
You pick it.
Well, God, quickly.
I want to go back and turn it around and ask you guys a couple questions.
That's allowed. This is a conversation, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
John. Well, I just mentioned a few. The sex offender thing is crazy, brilliant. The spelling bee thing. How long it went on and the multiple layers of laughs as the audience, you know, and then Jack Black singing at the end. The dancing, one thing stood out, not only was your dancing and the coach so fucking funny, but then when Peyton Manning got up, and I guess he's 6'4", 240, and how light on his feet he was and the way he danced. It was like that double-double, right? So talk about any of those. I can't pick a favorite.
I'll go in order. The spelling bee was one I used to do at the Groundlings for years and years. Mm-hmm. And I you know, definitely one of my 2 or 3 favorites of things I used to do at the Groundlings. So I kept trying to put it up at the show, and I
didn't get up on the first time.
No.
Wow.
You for people who don't know what the process is like, you put something up once. If it goes well at the table, sometimes it just doesn't get picked, but you can put it up maybe a second time. But if it doesn't get picked after the second time, then you just don't put it up again.
It's a little stinky. Go ahead. How many times?
Yeah. I put it up 5 times.
Oh, gross.
Okay.
5 times.
Embarrassing.
And then Jack Black was the final person, and he said, "Oh, we got to do this." So we wrote him the song at the beginning, but it was so fun to get to do that there, because it kind of reminds you of the long journey from Groundlings to I don't know. It's very
I think
fun
Cowbell,
to do that there.
Will's the other Will Cowbell, didn't that? Either it got canned after the dress show or whatever, but it took a while, and then when Walken came in, it just went boom. Yeah,
I remember hearing that.
Having the host
so
on your team helps. I'm sorry. And we
can't imagine another human being saying more cowbell better than Walken.
I felt funny was when you said, "Can you spell it?" was hilarious. And then when you were doing the letters, I pictured Wally or someone just holding a million cue cards, just going. I'm like, I hope it's not one letter per card.
Or did you have it memorized from the Groundlings?
No. The scary thing about that is I remembered going out on stage. It was really in a area. It was the last thing before the musical performance. It was the Christmas show, and I remembered looking down. It was like 12:52 or something. We were going out there. I knew that Neil Young still had to perform a whole song, and then they had to see everything. You know, they had to see the whole ice skating stuff. Everyone they wanted to shoot us down.
This is great inside baseball.
So I was like,
my God.
I probably would have gone on for another, 45
you had to rush a bit that's based on being
that was a short
slow.
version. Anyway,
well, I just was in the back of my mind. I was like, are they going to give me this thing? And then, sometimes every once in a while they'll cut off a sketch like in the middle of it. It doesn't happen very often, but
to your performance, as someone who does this, it just you were so patient.
Yeah.
You never pushed, you never blink, you were so straight with it.
On a
the whole
sketch, you're
time.
supposed to be
Thank
speeding
you.
up quietly, like on the side. The pressure's like, get the fuck off, get this thing done. And you're like, nope, this is
No,
how
I
slow
know.
it goes.
And it's
not
easy
funny
for
if
a
I don't.
performer to pull the ripcord a little bit and slightly wink or do something a little high pitched or try to get a little laugh in the middle but you never
Just wait
you
it
told
out.
the line. It's
Yeah.
like you never ever winked at all.
I think they know with Will, it's like going to be like that.
Go ahead.
Just for sure, having a chance to do that so many, I must have done that 40 or 50 times at the Groundlings. So it really gives you
The pacing.
I don't know, you get a little confidence in
Yeah.
what it is and clarity on what it is that
Yeah.
and I don't know if that was
I wouldn't compare it at all, but Church Lady's kind of almost like a vaudeville sketch, but whatever. But I'd done it in the clubs as part of my stand-up. And then the minute Victoria Jackson said something, and then I said, well, isn't that special? And I got to laugh like I did in the club. It helped really relax me.
do you remember what was your first thing you ever did on the show? What both of you do you remember that very first thing?
I think Dana was Church Lady.
It was the very first thing. I came on the show with Phil Hartman and Jan Hooks.
Yeah.
And it was
Was it
the
cold
very
open?
first show. We were in the cold opening, and I was a game show psychic. So Phil was the game show host. Jan was playing like a frumpy, motherly character, and I was like this kind of a genius. Like I would answer before Phil could ask the question. So at one point, I was doing a Garth type character based on my brother. I go, meteor, and he hadn't even asked the question. Meteor. Oh no, we have to ask the question. Meteor. And then this giant meteor came down and killed Jan or something. I don't know. But that was my first one, and I was levitating. I wasn't quite in my body. I was like anyone else. I was playing
terrified.
a pizza parlor. It was just a stand up in July. And then suddenly I'm on Saturday Night Live. So tell us your experience with your first thing on SNL.
Mine was I was in a sketch. It was Matt Damon was hosting, and it was a sketch about Hannibal Lecter in college. And all I had to say is, dude, I told you he was gay. That's the only thing I had to say, and I almost couldn't say the words. I couldn't remember. I saw it coming up, and I'm like, is my mouth? Are the muscles going to remember what to do? And somehow it came out, but it was fucking terrifying.
You remember what color you were on your cue cards? I used to ask for green. No, I asked for blue, I think.
I think I was green. I think it was green.
Funny, you go, I want this, and Wally would go, I think Wally was there for you guys, but he would go, what do you want?
Wally
and
Thurston.
And I watched Farley squint his I go, you're actually hurting your head. You're squinting so hard. Because he wouldn't wear his glasses, and I go, at some point you're gonna have to wear your glasses. But
David, what was your
first one? Thank you, Will. Dana never asked me questions about me.
Dana
heard it. Been there. No,
I was brought on with Rob Schneider in the end of the season for 4 shows. So I went a week ahead and watched one. I met, I saw Lovitz, and I watched just to see what it was like, even though you have no idea unless you're part of it. I'm just watching going, holy shit, this moves fast. And it's smaller than you think and all this. And so I go back, and I think one of those 4 shows, I didn't write anything that got on, maybe a few update jokes. And then there was something about Casualties of War with Michael J. Fox was coming out. So I got to do a weekend update, and it went in limbo, which means you're not at the desk, you're somewhere else with a backdrop. So it looks like I'm in a jungle. And so Dennis is like, fucking Spudley. Right. And now we're going out with Mike Fox or whatever, Casualties of War. And I'm in an army uniform, like, hey, Sarge, you got to give me a minute on this here, Hey, we're deep in the trenches with the goop.
Perfect.
Anyway, I do it. And then he goes, thanks, Mike Fox. And then they go, Kenny Amon, bless his heart. I love Kenny. They forgot to put my card at the beginning. It was just a card saying featuring, and you wouldn't be in the show. I wouldn't have my name at the beginning unless I was in it. And so when I was in it, I get paid at $1,500, and they give me featuring up front. And featuring David Spade. But they forgot. and so people thought it was Dana or Mike Myers. They didn't
Yeah,
know
I
who
dined
I
out
was.
on that for months.
And it fucking
God, that
all
Michael
summer, I
J.
was like,
Fox was
"God
awesome.
damn it."
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Oh, yeah,
I
Dana
just started
heard about
smoking.
it.
It was so good.
Dana and Mike heard about it, and Dennis is like, "They fucked you, guy."
Christ
So wait,
sakes,
that
they
was your
took you
first.
down.
Your first time on camera was like toward the
I had
end
a
of the
whole
season.
thing. Yeah, it was like second last show.
He came in late in the season. You know, he was staggered in.
And
Did
then
you
they
come in the
said-
beginning of the
That's like
season?
Sudeikis. Sudeikis was
Yeah.
the same thing. Had been a writer for a while, and then was one of the last couple shows of his.
Got
second
bumped up
season,
to
I
the
think.
bigs.
Yeah, I was at the beginning. I came in 2002 with Fred Armisen.
Okay. So yeah, you were the normal beginning.
I don't know if you
Yes.
want to talk
Yeah.
about if you've already talked about this, but I do think it's funny that you were writing for Bonnie and Terry Turner. Basically, you had nice
Yeah.
network TV jobs, Third Rock.
Oh, that
and,
was for Bonnie and Terry Turner.
Oh
Had
yeah,
to be.
yeah,
And-
yeah.
Who wrote
and
what
that
movie that I
70
was in, Dana?
Brady Bunch. No, that was
Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy.
Tommy
yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, they were great.
So that
Oh,
when you auditioned for SNL, apparently you weren't as nervous as you normally would have been because you kind of had this other job, and I guess you were swearing or you did. What was your audition process like? Were you really nervous, or were you cavalier because you were on the fence about taking the job, or is that all just Wikipedia stuff?
There was an element of it that I was not nervous for. I was doing a Groundlings show during the hiatus. I was working at 70 Show at the time.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so I did a series of Groundling shows during that hiatus period. And Lauren came to one of those shows, and that was where I was super loose, and because like I had a job and I knew that I couldn't do anything. And I also thought like, they'd never like.
Oh,
me anyway.
right. Kind of thought, well, I'm too busy to do SNL. Yeah.
Well, just like I'm contractually obligated to this
Mhm.
other job that I love, and also like they're not going to like me. I've got no chance anyway. I'm an acquired taste, and
You're a bum rock.
So did
Yeah.
you destroy that night in a way?
I did. I had this sketch that went so well, it was crazy. It's what at the Groundlings. When you're in the main stage show, you'll have an opening of a show, and that was the opening of this show, and then you'll do the show for 2 or 3 months. And this sketch went so well, and then bombed every other time that I ever did it. It was
So
just somehow meant to be. I just got really lucky. Exactly. No, but then I went so they asked me to audition, and then I was terrified. Yeah, going there, it was the scariest. Were you guys nervous to audition?
Well, were you an 8H kind of doing that, or where was your other audition? Okay.
The first thing was at the Groundlings. So what Lauren came to was just our set Groundling show. Right. Nobody knew that Lauren was coming. It wasn't an SNL showcase. They just happened to show up on this night.
He wore a mustache. Hello, just me.
Yeah.
No, not Lauren.
Did he bring any kind of movie star? Because he had Cher when he saw me, and with Melanie Hutzel, he had Quincy Jones. Yeah, it was a little club on the West Side, and Lauren walked in, and then Cher walked in, and the head of the NBC network at the time, Brandon Tartikoff.
Do you believe it's
that's crazy?
2-drink minimum?
So did you know he was supposed to come?
I was told, and that's why I was able to get it to this little club, because I'd done the whole cattle call at the Comedy Store a couple times. 20 comedians doing 5 minutes, no MC, just one after the other. And I followed Sam Kinison at midnight. He levitated the room. Literally, there was structural damage to the room. And then no one ever got my name right. And now Dana Garno, I'm not kidding. Often, it was always Dana, and then Dana Garvey. So then I just complete dead silence. Isn't that special? Here's Jimmy Stewart, So then Lauren's coming back around. So I wanted to go play this comedy club with 100 people in it. There was a normal audience. And Rosie O'Donnell was headlining that week. I didn't even know her. And she agreed because I was bringing Lauren. And I met her there. She seemed like she was like so worldly and confident, So I said, maybe I should go on first. So I went on first, but I had 40 minutes.
She kills.
She's great. And I thank her for this. 40 minutes instead of 5. And that's and then I auditioned later at a studio. That's a whole nother story.
Wait a second. You were supposed to do 5. You did 40?
No, this was a regular comedy club. So I just squeezed in and did 40.
You just did a guess.
And then Rosie closed, and we had an MC. So that That's
wow.
why I got the show. If I'd done 5 minutes, no way. Because everyone
Rosy
goes, oh, we
closy.
can tell if they're funny, even if they're not getting laughs. I know if they're funny. Fuck you. No, you don't. No, you don't. They got to hear the laughs.
So then when you go and do the audition, was it the same process? I assume it was the same thing. Do a couple characters, do a couple impersonations.
Did you ever go into 8H, Dana?
No, I did that in LA, and I did it, like 10 people were there, and Jim Carrey went up, and Phil went up, and and at a given point, I ran out of stuff, and Lauren said, do you have anything else? Is there anything else you have besides what we've seen?
Sickening.
Oh, no.
But I realized later, at least I thought, I've never asked Lauren, were you testing my nerves? Did you want to see if you could handle the pressure? But then I had a little thing called Chopping Broccoli. You mind if I play the piano?
Did you play Chopping Broccoli at the end?
Saturday Night Live. I did, of course.
Chopping Broccoli.
I'd rather just make sounds. That's my thing. I don't want to say words. My Biden is like,
oh, man.
You know what chopping broccoli is to me?
Sorry,
It's one of those ones where I think I'm the only one that likes it. I go, this is so fucking funny. I bet no one gets it. And then everyone else is like, chopping broccoli is the funniest thing he does. I go, oh, it is? God,
one of the all-time classics.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I was thrilled
I thought I
even just
found
to
it.
hear with my own ears you saying that in a story that you're telling to me and David. That was a thrill.
She chop. It's so stupid. I've been on shows and theaters in the round, and someone will hit my back, and it's a stalk of broccoli. Like people will being broccoli and just throw it.
And you know your cue. You're like chopping broccoli.
Chop. But I think Lauren liked it because it's the idea of someone running out of creative, getting all this money and success, and then essentially phoning it in.
And you're like,
so
sure.
he liked what was behind it. But anyway, let's get back to
Wait,
you.
I have another question
our super
for Will.
guest, Will Forte.
Will Forte.
One of
Not
the
to be
three big
confused with
Wills.
No, I like asking your
Joe
questions of
Dirte.
you.
Hey, Will,
Sounds
you
like
work.
someone should get his own podcast.
I know you're a good questioner.
Jeez. Oh,
You're like, I would never do. No offense. But Will, you wrote for Letterman, and my only question for that is, I actually have a couple, but I would say, is it true that you don't see Letterman much or see him at all when you write for him?
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it's. I came in. I was a lower level writer. Never made it past the lower level. I was only there for about 9 months. Letterman was, one of my comedy sensibility shapers growing up.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
We all
thrilled
revered
to go there,
David.
But I just wasn't as good at writing for him as I thought I would be. I thought it'd be this natural match, and I still he's still one of my all-time heroes. But I barely. You would see him if you had written something there was going to be a pre-tape on, and you had to go out on the shoot. Or if you're like a department head, or you had to run stuff by him, you'd go down
Or
there.
if you walked the wrong way down the hallway.
Exactly.
You run into, hey,
I never talked to him as a guest. Did you talk to him as a guest? Either of
I
you?
did. I went
Backstage?
on there twice. No. But you did a show though. You did a show as a guest. You mean behind the scenes? You
Behind
never
the
talked to him.
scenes? No, I don't think I ever talked to him. It was always just on air, which is I got why he wanted it to be like that. Ellen did that
For
too.
a second, I thought you were saying you had never been on the show, and I'm like, wait.
I thought he said he went on the show and then didn't talk to Letterman. I'm like, on the show you didn't? No, that's weird.
So, Will, if I can call you that.
Is this over? Are we starting?
No, I want to. Let's see. The sex offender one. That's another one.
That one. So the sex offender one, Colin Jost wrote that. I got the good fortune of being in that one because for some reason he thought of me when he thought sex offender. And
well, you can just play off kilter. It would seem like perfect casting if you didn't write it. It was John Hamm, and you were a creepy but awkward, weird.
Yeah.
And it was that Collins thing. Just a few but that's not me. That's you. What? That catchphrase was that.
I basically did exactly as he wrote it. Like he just.
Could you just do that catchphrase for a second?
What? It's just a high pitched what?
But yeah, there was something that happened. But I'm not you. You're not me. What?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So it's a guy going up to trick or treat, and he's dressed as a sex offender, and so somebody's like, wait, are you a sex offender? And it's like, no, I'm dressed as a sex offender. And then it comes out that he does have a form for the people to sign acknowledging that he's moving into the neighborhood. And then it's like, wait, is this part of the costume? Or is this like, it's like, part of the costume.
And
Could
who
you
was
sign this form?
Who was who in the sketch?
So John Hamm was the guy who I was trying to get to sign the form.
Man.
Have you ever had the host go, I like your part better. Let's switch.
Only Glenn Close.
I have.
Did that?
You have had a host take your.
What happened? What happened? Tell the whole story.
I'm sorry. I'm subtly interesting.
Everyone does Hans and Franz.
I did.
Sorry.
Actually, that's actually sort of an interesting story because it was a sketch where I played a receptionist, and I would say, "Oh, and you are, and this is regarding," and it was one of the ones that was hard to get on. I had put it through read through, and I couldn't get it on. But they thought it was kind of a funny idea. It wasn't just a straight setup punchline. It was more of an attitude. So Lauren liked that, and even Downey liked it, which helps. And I don't think Franklin.
It was the receptionist you have trouble getting past.
Yeah. He stops you because he thinks they're better than you, something like that. And so Bowie was the guest as music with Tin Machine. So I wrote it with Bowie coming in, and then they sent it to his hotel. And Marcy Klein said, "Hey, Bowie wants to call you." There's a message in my little. We had mailboxes back then, and you pull it out from NBC, and it says, "David Bowie, this hotel, this fake name, call him as soon as possible." I was like, "Oh my God, did they send it to him?" I just put him in. I didn't even put it in read through, I don't think, because he wasn't there. And so I called him, and he answers, and it's fucking Bowie, and I'm like, "Hey, man," and he's like, "This is so fucking funny. It's exactly my life and these people I see." And he goes, "One tweak, can I play the receptionist?" And he goes, "That's the funnier part." And I go, "Oh, well." And he goes, "I mean, I just come in as David Bowie. It's kind of boring. Everyone's seen that. It's fucking stupid." And he goes, "You could play me." And I go, "I mean, I could." And I said no.
You said no?
The fucking balls of this
Neil
little
Young
pussy.
asked to play the church lady, I just put my foot down. I said, "Neil, I'm
Isn't
sorry.
that
This
crazy?
is mine, man. I love you like a brother." No, but literally you said no to him?
I
What
said
was
no.
the
And
sound?
I am the most colossal pussy. Ask anyone. And I was like, I just can't. I go, you know how it's like fucking like a character like Wayne's World or something, like you want to do it again. And he goes, yeah, okay, sure. And he was not rude. He was just like
disappointed.
Okay, well, playing myself isn't that fun, whatever. And I go, I get it. And he goes, okay, all good. And then the rest of the week I wasn't in the show, and I was like, fuck. And then I'd see Bowie, and he's like, anyway, Genie again.
Control.
And so I got, and then at Good Nights, he said, "Hey, sorry, man. I get what was going on, and I shouldn't have been like a little chilly."
Really?
about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now it's like a sweet full circle.
I used to see him. I saw him. He was at my Young Comedian special in the audience when Dennis hosted, in the audience and watching. And then I saw him with Bobcat. I went to his house. So I'd seen him, I think before that, just briefly. So it wasn't too terrified. It was still weird to call him, but to shut him down. And then after that was just weird. And then to never go, you might, and he goes, "Well, what if the sketch never gets on?" I'm like, God, how do you know the show this well? It's so true. What if it doesn't get on? I'm fucking blowing it. He's like, "It'll get on if I do it." I'm like,
I said it before, but I ran into him and Jagger with Dennis and Lovitz at the this cafe after the show. And
there's Bowie and Jagger. Should we
Bowie
say
and
hi?
Jagger smoking a joint at the Columbus Cafe.
On this planet.
And he says, we're very famous, And then Jagger kind of liked the girl who was with Dennis or whatever, but then we went downtown with Bowie to a disco type place, and
they wanted to dance.
He showed us how to plant your left foot and do a spin. So he was another one-off genius, like in his own lane, miracle of talent.
Oh, shit.
Just wanted to throw that in there for the fans.
Feels like when Corey Feldman was at Cantor's, I walked right up to him
That is basically my level of story.
I told Urkel,
oh my
listen,
God.
buddy.
All right.
Sorry.
No, believe me, those things here. You know, when you're in SNL, some people come to the show, you walk by and you go, like at the 40th, I was shocked. I was saying to Dana, like, for once, I almost felt comfortable talking to people that are out of my range because they were on my turf for once. And it was like,
it is. That year was when the movie Nebraska came out. And
oh my God, I forgot about that. Congratulations. Brilliant.
Oh, thanks. I somehow got to be a part of that movie. I still have no idea how. And then got to go to the Oscars because it was nominated. And that was the same year of the 40th.
40th, yeah.
And the 40th was way cooler than the Oscars. I mean, it was you know, like the Oscars, I feel like I have no business being there. And then, you know, and then I'm at the 40th and I did feel a little bit of ownership, like, hey, I'm a part of this thing. And, and even, you know, and I still, you know, bowed down to all you guys. I mean, just you guys were the ones who paved the way for all of us, you know, down the road. So I was still so nervous around you guys. And Dana, I'll always remember this moment. We got to meet at the after party for the first time. And then we're talking for a while and somebody's playing a Prince song in the background and I'm not really paying attention because I'm just, you know, very excited to talk to you. And then after a while, this person is playing a couple Prince songs. And then after a while, you're realizing, oh, this isn't somebody playing a Prince song. This is Prince playing a Prince song.
That was so big.
And so we both kind of realized, oh, maybe we should go into this room because we were, I don't know, 20 yards away from this ballroom where Prince had just been ripping it up for.
It was like Fallon was up
minutes.
there, and everybody got up and jammed with.
It was everywhere you look, someone was famous.
Yeah,
it was a throbbing.
Let's
gigantic...
not do plus ones. Let's keep it famous.
I remember talking with Glenn Close and Sigourney Weaver, and they seemed like two nice women. Over
they
in
probably
the
feel out of place too. You know, because
everyone shrinks down a little bit, except if you're Paul McCartney or something. You're
no matter where you are, you're like, I'm the fucking king cuck.
But I talked to Billy Crystal. Everyone seems smaller, but in the same time, if you're a veteran of it, and I hate military analogies because it's not, but in the pantheon of show business, you know, there's that little like, oh, you were there, you know what it's like to, you know, have cotton mouth and have to do a sketch or fall down or the cue cards are torn in half or someone throws up on you. So that is cool to be part of.
You could talk to anyone about SNL like we're doing. We call anybody, and when they talk, you know immediately, even if you weren't there with them, you go, oh, is this kind of the same way when you go back by the page test? They're like, yep, yeah, everything's the same. It's all the same. Oh, I like that. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's the same.
I mean,
it's a shorthand.
Did you have a celebrity person that you were most excited to meet over those seasons, or kind of starstruck, or just someone that was sort of a thrill to? Because I got to sit with Willie Nelson once and sing with him and have him learn a song. You know, that was like, I remember thinking, this is a SNL type moment. This is weird. This is happening to me.
It took me several years to relax. I mean, it was very interesting. Coming in with Fred Armisen, because Fred was the exact opposite. He seemed just so immediately ready to perform and so excited to get up on stage. And I was just terrified from week to week. And I would enjoy it as I look back on it. But he's fantastic. But then the summers would come. He couldn't wait for the summer to end and get back to the next season. And I was like,
grind. I get so stressed, and like July, I'm like, it's coming, and I load up. I have one sketch ready, and then I go, I'm ready this year, and I got one. The week two, I'm like, what the fuck? I have nothing. I'm so over.
Oh yeah. And you go in, you go to the final show in May, and you're like, I'm going to spend every day just like a half hour thinking up ideas. I might not even turn them into full sketches, but I'm going to come in with so many ideas. And you of course don't do any of that.
I would call Marcy and go, who's the host? Who's the host? Who have you booked yet? You know, just to get a head start.
I think it was my second season. The cast was in 8H, and we had these reporters there, like a little press conference. Do you have any new characters? And on the spot, I said, I don't, but I have a new catchphrase, which was, I got to go. And they took it serious. It was in the New York Post and stuff. Like it was a thing. They didn't realize. And then Jan was my sidekick. Funny Little Poopy Head was my name, and her name was Mrs. Funny Little Poopy Head. And I'd go, I got to go. And she would say, and I'm going to go on with them. And they took it. They thought it was, they thought it was great.
Catchphrases are decided by the audience, basically.
I'm with you guys. I feel like it's a gathering storm in a sense, a sense of anxiety when the season's starting and how will you do it. Never left me. I think I was pretty good the last 30 shows. I think the first 100 was still trying to get really relaxed. But I think what happens is the audience discovers you and you get more relaxed and it kind of builds on itself. You see it with a new cast member. Because it probably, at some point, Will, when the audience saw you come in and knew your sensibility, like by the time the Halloween thing came in, it seemed like the audience saw you and just went, oh, it's Will. We love him. I mean, it gets relaxing at that point, right?
Certainly, I think there's a point when that happens, but my point happened a little bit later because the stuff I would write would be so weird. It would always be the stuff toward the end of the show. So it just took longer. I mean, I think there are some people after I left the show that just didn't know that I had left the show because they had never really seen me that much in the show anyway.
Well, Dana was saying a nice compliment to you that oh, no, I'm thinking of someone else. No, he was saying a nice compliment about you where he said, you know, because you have sort of a different vibe. So when you go out there, first of all, what I would say is people know it's coming. So when you're doing a bit, they're like, this bit is going to go sideways in a weird way where it's not the predictable structure, which is good. You know, it might go zigzag where you don't see it coming. And then also he said, you remind him of a little bit of Jack Handy, which I think is a genius. I think we both do. Me and Dana.
Oh my God, that's a huge compliment.
And being like, we'd see him in read through, and he's so quiet sitting in the corner, and he's kind of giggling. He's got little glasses, and then they go, impending doom or whatever. And it was some sketch, and it was so fucking bananas. And we're all like, God damn, I'm gonna quit writing because I don't even know what he's doing. Everything is funny, and it's so weird.
My first one was me and Kevin were like, there was a launch pad with a rocket, and we were the guys with the binoculars. And I'm like, okay, 10, 9, 8. And then Lassie would wander underneath the rocket. Oh, wait, hold on, you know. And then it was Hitler. Okay, we're going. And then it was Hitler holding the Mona Lisa and Lassie. It was just, so brilliant.
So stupid.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
So you have a thing where you have a different vibe, which is good to have.
Oh man! Well, I mean,
talk about that dance you did when you were the coach.
He says you're like Hitler,
the
basically.
dance. So the dance.
Like, how did you come up with how funny that dance was?
Well,
I can't even describe it.
So the dance. Do you guys know John Lutz? Lutz was in the show 30 Rock. He played one of the writers, John Lutz. So he was a writer on the show SNL, and then now he writes for Seth Meyers. But he came to me and he had that song Casino Royale and said, we got to do something with this song. And I had this idea. This was also back from the Groundlings of just a coach who wanted to give a motivational speech and use something really stupid as the motivation. So we married those two together. We wrote the whole sketch. The dance was not even part of it. The dance, it was just like I was going to listen to the song for a long time. And right as we were about to do the sketch, I think it was right before the table read, he said, hey, why don't you dance during the song? Just start dancing just so people don't get bored during the song. And I said, yeah, you're probably right. That's probably a good idea. So that was a total afterthought. And then when we did it throughout the week, I'm sure you guys it was never quite, I mean, it was the idea of it we loved, but it just wasn't hitting for some reason. And Lauren even said it went well enough in dress rehearsal that he said, he put it in the show, but he did say you should cut down on the dance a little bit. And then for some reason, this was, most of the time, so many times you'll do the best version of the sketch at dress rehearsal, and then the live show will be a letdown.
Feeling. Yeah.
Sadly.
This was like one of the only times that the sketch actually was the best version, and it was just like a straight up arc, and somehow the dance the dance moves were flowing like wine. nice and crisp. And I was so excited by how it went. I went longer than I was supposed to, but I think he was fine because I
was working,
just kind of
and
felt it out.
The team was not into it. They were playing it very real and disappointed. And then your exuberance and what I refer to that as funny with the sound off. I'm sure there's other ways to put it, physical comedy.
Oh, that's cool.
Funny with the sound off means the audience is not listening for a punchline or anything. They have permission to just really laugh hard. It's the I Love Lucy and the grapes or the chocolates. And when I did Massive Head Wound Harry, the air show was the same thing with the dog. And, I'm working with an animal going crazy. And that was just the longest laugh I'd ever got because they knew what I was in. And I did not want the prosthetic to fly off because then that would be that secondary joke. And the sketch had worked so well. So I was just decided to hold it. And then the dog went to town. So it was funny with sound. That's sketch 2, what you were doing, dancing like that. It was that kind of thing. Like, I just get to really laugh.
Hang on. By the way, that dog, after that sketch, Bill, I was right next to, what'd I say, Bill? Will. I was right next to the stage and the dog walked by and he goes, "Follow that motherfucker." I go, Jesus Christ. This dog's going to be a cast member?
Well, they put more goo on the mat on the thing.
They put more dog food goo in his head.
Yeah, very smuggly trick or something to put all this extra stuff. You'll have fun out there.
That was one of the hardest kills.
Smigel wrote that.
I'm not sure if it was maybe Schneider or Smigel. I'm not sure. Steve Korn. I don't want to say because I'm not sure if it was a group effort, but I was a participant in that as the through line and just lucky to be in the sketch.
Oh, you were in the right fucking place.
Oh, I was. Yeah. Sometimes they just get pennies from heaven.
That was it. Yeah, it was great.
That was one of the all-time greats.
We were talking about Will, and then we went into that.
No, I love it. I love it.
All-time
Any
greats.
SNL talk is funny. I like it all.
My sound went out for a second. All-time what? I had a glitch. It's a Wi-Fi issue. No, it's such a mutual thing. Have you ever had people think you're weird or stuff? Because I had it once at SNL, like literally maybe slightly off or perverted or something's wrong with you.
Oh, sure, all the time. Family members.
Tell me your experience. I'll tell you my
members.
Experience.
Oh, just no. Well, especially. During you already brought up that hairdo I had to have for Last Man on Earth, which I kind of did to myself. Like I thought it'd be a fun idea. So, and then I had to have it for a month. You'd be walking along it, most of the time it was such a crazy work schedule that I would just be kind of going back and forth to work. But every once in a while you got to go to the store. You got to
go to fucking Ralph's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's people already kind of thought were nervous by the length of the beard before I had to shave off half of it.
Yeah. And people at home listening, it was half. It was directly down the middle of your face. One side was like long hair and a long beard, right?
Yeah. One total hairiness, like the brawny guy.
Yeah.
Well, brawny guy plus a year of hair growth, and then the other side's completely right down the middle. Completely shaved, eyebrow gone.
Oh, eyebrow
gone.
too? Sick.
Oh yeah. My dad, I had sent a picture.
Okay, that seals the deal.
We shaved it on a Sunday afternoon, and everyone was warning me about the eyebrow, but then I sent a picture to my dad just to say, "Hey, look at that! Look what your son is looking like right now." And he said, "Oh, you're keeping the eyebrow, huh?"
That's a great dad voice.
No, so I had to.
Oh, because you had to commit all the way. Oh my God.
Daddy said to shave the eyebrow. So.
I love it.
I love that. Mine's not quite like that. It was involved Steve Martin, and very quickly I church lady would say penis a lot when I was doing it in the clubs, and then the censorship guy, Mr. Clockworthy, said she can't say penis so much. So then I started to write your naughty bulbous area and your willing and throbbing buttocks. And so I was in read through and Steve Martin was 3 feet away and I'm just digging into, and he's next to Lauren. I'm digging into the church lady because it was early days with the character and your naughty bulbous and your wicked throbbing member is going, and I was getting into it. And I heard Steve say to Lauren under his breath, "What kind of mind thinks of this?"
Steve, one of our
Naughty and
favorites.
bulbous and throbbing and
Pulsating.
gorged. It became really pornographic compared to just saying penis. And gorge, your engorged loaf is throbbing and willing.
Loaf.
And the
What a
censorship
sick
guy
pervert.
was, attaboy, attaboy.
That is so funny that the guy who was in the friggin' Jerk and wrote the. I mean,
I love it.
how would he say that? You would think, oh, that's right up his alley.
Steve Martin, I
Oh,
love.
I took it as
Steve
an
Martin.
incredible
Goddamn.
compliment. You know, and
Oh,
of course,
yeah. He's. I mean, the Jerk for years. That's one of my favorite all-time movies.
God,
he had a kindred spirit with you, with the absurdity, the weird, crazy, a man with
God.
two brains, and yeah,
He's-
he was an abstractionist.
Well, so do you know what you brought up that I want to talk about is that does it fucking drive you crazy? Excuse my swearing, I'm sorry, but it really chaps my hide. That when the standards and practices would say, oh, you can't say penis that many times, but you
Right.
to me it's like, oh, if you can say penis once on TV, you
Yeah.
could say penis for the entire 30 minutes. Why like if you can say a word, say it.
Yeah.
Like for Last Man on Earth, there was a goat piss joke that Sudeikis had told, and then he improvised off the script and said goat piss again, and it like made sense for the story, but they wouldn't let us say goat piss
That's on Fox?
a second time. Just two of the word pisses, and it was fine to say piss. You just couldn't say it twice. It just
funny.
drove me crazy. Yeah, that was.
Ours
Fox.
evolved that eventually, which it took a while to get on. I think Tom Hanks was the host, but it was a nudist colony. So we all were shirts off and we were all just commenting on each other. Nice penis. Hey, looking good
nice.
today. Yeah.
Oh, I
hey, thanks a
remember
lot.
that.
Nice penis. And so we said it 300 times. So eventually Mr. Clockworthy gave up at some point.
That's
Get a
your
little
thoughts for the eye to Andrew Brewer.
Oh, Brewer was a ball buster, man.
Brewer he's always like, guys, I'm trying to be your friend here. No, I didn't
Mr.
have.
Clockworthy had Buster Brown shoes and little glasses and a bow tie.
Who was
He
yours,
right out of
Will, at
Central
SNL?
Casting.
You know
remember?
what? I can't remember who would. God, who was the?
Because
I
they
can't
would come
remember.
right up to us and say, "Hey, Spade, I just read your weekend update. You cannot do." I'm like, "Whoa, what?" Start always shocked. What? No.
Yeah.
I said pussy, and then whatever. But
You
I got around
put
it.
in pussy 5 or 10 times and go, okay, I'll just do 3.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a
that was
classic.
the trick. Yeah.
It's like
Oh,
what
yeah.
the politicians do. This package is going to cost 10 trillion. That's insane. All right, well, 5 trillion. Oh, it's not so much.
Oh, what a
Thanks.
bargain.
That's pocket change.
Yeah.
But and I remember during my standards and practice things I remember much more clearly from the Last Man on Earth stuff. When I was there, you couldn't have people having sex, but you could have people having sex, but they couldn't be moving at all. So you like,
That's how I do
you
it.
couldn't even tell. So if Kristen Shaw and I had sex, we'd have to basically say, oh, I'm having such great sex with you currently right now.
Without moving much.
But then what you could do is you could do the exact same thing, but if you put it in the script, that you're having sex, then you can't really move around at all. But if you just say are engaged in foreplay, you can be doing the exact same thing, but then be moving around a little bit. It was just so maddening all the time.
You
What
could
the
always
little rules
finger.
are.
Yeah, prime
Fingering
time. Now
is
you got to
like
go to
fun.
live streaming, and there's other rules now though, because there's just a lot of sensitivity. Put it that way.
Oh man,
in the world.
with Peacock, where they're letting us
MacGruber
be
is your TV show.
quite risky. Quite risque.
I was about to say, I saw your
Basically.
trailer, and I'm like, this looks like it's going to be pretty rough on the edges.
Oh yeah, no, it is essentially they let us do whatever we wanted to do. Yeah, it's very hard.
I love it.
And they've
Hard
been-
R.
Is it
Yeah, they've
because
been
you
great.
pay for Peacock and there's like a barrier there gone?
Yeah, I guess so. Like we could never do it for NBC,
Right.
but because it's their streaming service, I guess there's you can.
The fans of the movie are going to come over, and the movie was R, right? Must have been.
Yeah, the movie's super
Yeah.
R, and so it's
Super
basically
R.
the same tone as the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Peacock's been awesome and really fun to work with, and none of that stuff. We're just very excited because it's kind of impossible to do this character after the movie without quite a bit of swearing and dirty scenarios.
I like Super R. That should be a new rating.
Yeah.
Super R.
Super R.
Yeah.
I'm going to get Super R. Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck with that one. That's going to be fucking cool. And any other
you.
questions, or Dana? What do you got? Anything?
You got any questions for us or anything you want to add? We never know how to wrap up.
Yeah, we're just saying you did a good hour. You're fucking entertaining, and it's good to dig deep and know more shit.
Was that? Oh man, I guess my question is, so Dana, you come down here from time to time, because I did text with Kevin Nealon last week and said, hey, we haven't hiked in a long time. We should do a hike. So if you guys would, I guess what I'm asking is,
I'll do it with you. Hang out.
Would like to get a hike on the books.
Yeah. I just want to let you know my resting pulse is 39. Not a joke. I hike really hard because I was in track. Now, did you run in high school or you were a swimmer?
I didn't.
Okay.
I was a swimmer and I played football, but we didn't have a hike club, or else I probably would have joined it. But,
I was a distance runner, so I take that. But if I was doing it with you and Kevin, we would just stroll and talk.
Kevin has to hold like waters, and he holds like a camera in front of him, like
the
a
drone
selfie stick.
with one hand.
Drone. He's barking out orders, and he's like, so tell me. And I'm like, Kevin, I can't even walk this fast. I asked him, I swear to God, can we do it in a parking lot? I go, it's just about the interview because my neck is all fucked up. I go, I don't want to go fucking Mount Everest and the Eiger sanction. Let's just walk around Kmart. And he's like, no. And I go, what's the difference? Maybe tilt the camera. We think we're walking up. I don't know.
The last time he lured me up to this real poison oaky play, he said, there's a ton of poison oak. And that's the one thing that I'm very allergic to poison oak. So I had to basically wear a full body.
You don't have to make excuses. He's like, you want to go to Scorpion Junction?
No, I go where Nealon tells me to go.
Yeah, Rattlesnake Hills?
By the way, that was also
where I go.
Now, Dana, David, and I got to go. I had run into Tim Meadows at we go to the same gym, and I saw him, and we got a little dinner together. And so David came. It was me and Hader and Tim Meadows and David and Molly Shannon came. And wait,
what a gang!
That was a good little mix. Fun. Yeah,
it was kind of like this, getting to talk about different eras of the show, and it was so much fun. We should do another one of those too.
That's kind of why we're doing this podcast, because it gets ridiculous when you are fans of people and people from SNL and friends that you don't see, and you wait until maybe you're at some award show or the 50th. Even if I don't see you between now and the 50th, I guess we're all going there. Then I'll go, well, just because of this.
It's coming up.
Which is,
I mean, it's got to be.
It's 3 years or something.
Away, right?
What are you going to wear? I mean, full tuxedo, or what are you guys thinking? Am I going to do Garth?
Let's do it.
They better bring Vaseline and cotton swabs on that lens.
Did you say that Garth is
my brother Brad?
Your brother?
Yeah.
Oh,
if we put him on the phone, he would talk like this. I used to do him in my stand-up act. Yeah, I could make a nuclear weapon with a paperclip. That's why Garth had a stun gun and all that in Wayne's World 1. That was all from Brad advising me how would Garth make a homemade stun gun, because he was kind of a MacGyver kid. Brad was.
Oh, wow. That is awesome. And he must be flattered by it, or does he like it? Okay.
He invented the first prototype of an at-home video editing system called the Video Toaster with a man named Tim Jennison. So we were on magazine covers together when I was doing Garth, and yeah, it's very flattering, because Garth, who wouldn't want to be Garth? That's a character that I would like to just be him or hang out with him. He's so loyal and fun, and
he got some
puss
too.
Yeah. He's just so nice.
Didn't he?
He's real supportive.
He always had some pretty girl in the movie. Like, really, Garth? And he's like,
but I remember Kristen Wiig at the 40th. She goes, "Why does he hold his jaw like that?" And I go, "Because Brad, all his his anxiety,
his stress or something."
I guess, but it is
because it
painful.
makes it funnier. She should know. She's fucking hilarious.
She's great. Well,
She's
The
great.
best of the best.
she is. She's certainly in the conversation. There are certain people that are so good at Saturday Night Live. There shouldn't be ratings, but it's fun to go, oh,
There's
you're
no
number 3.
arguing
I'm
her.
number 10,
No.
that are just as good as anyone's ever done it. And I would put Mr. Will Forte in that category. Unless
Get
someone
out
else
of
comes
town.
along and does this, what I'm looking at with my,
Look at that shit.
look at that.
Did you see the word
I'm
old
going
was
one
circled?
guy did all that. Yeah.
I
All right.
can't see it anymore.
Nice to
Oh,
meet
there
you,
we go.
Dana. And if you ever want to do a dinner with or without Dana, let me know.
I would love that. I would love that.
And I'll
Yeah.
tell Kevin, I would like to go for a hike with you guys.
Or a dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic. I'll talk with him and we will get in touch with you and
Because
figure it out.
I'm here almost all the time in LA.
You
at this
hike and
point.
then I'll meet you guys for dinner.
You guys, it is such an honor to do this with you. Thank you for
Thank you,
wanting
Will.
me
Thank
to
you.
come on. You guys
It
are
was really
are-
fun.
freaking the best, and I could ask you so many more questions, and will
At dinner.
This might lead you to say no to this hike and dinner, but
No, it's
just a thrill.
I find everything to do with Saturday Night Live interesting, really, weirdly enough,
Yeah.
only because, which I say many times, it's like experientially the height of what you could do on planet Earth, unless you're a Navy SEAL or something. It's just this adrenal, bizarre, live, weird show. So nothing
Yeah.
like it. That's why
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan, when I run into him, he goes, "Hey, alum. How you doing, alum?" That's the way he looks
That's
at it.
it.
Part of the team. All right. Well, go about your day, kiss your baby and your wife in what particular order, doesn't matter.
Bye,
and
lumps.
Have fun. Oh,
Bye,
he just
lumps.
left. Okay.
All right, we did it. This has been a podcast presentation of Cadence 13. Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes. Available now for free wherever you get your podcasts.
No joke, folks. Fly on the Wall has been a presentation of Cadence 13. Executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Chris Corcoran of Cadence 13, and Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment.
The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman with production and engineering support from Serena Regan and Chris Basil of Cadence 13.
This next character was a thrill for me to have on the podcast, Mr. William Shatner. We did this one a while back, so we do talk about him going in outer space, which was an extraordinary to hear it firsthand. And he hosted SNL, like my 8th show, and he was, I've mentioned before, one of the funniest hosts ever. And so we talk all about that. And you can talk to this too. The other thing about it is he's so philosophical. He's incredibly curious.
Yeah.
And I'm still in awe of his brain. And when you see him, it's like, what? He's
Yeah.
91 or something.
Universally liked kind of guy, super famous. Everyone knows who he is. He has such a great life, great career, and he always, like you said, curious. He's always trying new things. He got involved in space. We talked about that. We had done this a little while ago, so if some things, I talk about.
Did you talk about UFOs?
Oh, I might have asked him about that because
Or you said you believed in
I
them?
do get into him. Yeah.
And then he wanted to really get into that. Why?
Because when we taped
do you
this,
believe in them?
Roswell just happened. That was in 1947. So it was a while ago. But Thriller album we talk about because it just came out. Mike Tyson bit that dude's
Yeah,
ear.
we did a huge
So-
chunk on
But
Hubert.
some of them get
Hubert
left.
Humphrey.
And I just found this one in the glove compartment. I'm like, guys, we never even aired this one. So Shatner, we had a great time with. And
You could talk to-
I would talk to him every week if we could. He's just a blast.
Yeah, Bill Shatner to his friends, Billy Shatner or BB.
If you see DiCaprio, do you call him Leo or do you call him
I call him
Leonardo?
Cap. What's up, Cap?
I go, hey, no cap.
I'm a goddamn has-been. What'd that guy say to you? Says I got to go to Italy and make Italian westerns.
Once upon
I
a
can
time
think
in
of
Hollywood.
worse things than that. I was doing Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's a
I don't
good
normally
scene.
do little sketches on this podcast. It's not what we're about.
No, we'll do them soon, though.
Come on.
Keep your eyes peeled. All right, so
William Shatner, enjoy this one. What a fun guest. he
Billy
was.
Shat. His pants.
You both are vying for great hair.
It's all an illusion. My skull is like a game of Risk. There's only so many soldiers and so much territory. There's a lot of product fluffing. I faint.
And a lot of eruptions.
Eruptions, yes. I erupt often.
Eruptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Right.
eruptions, hey, how are you, Bill? It's so nice to see you.
So you guys got a thing going here.
Yeah, we do.
Well, we're discovering
Yeah,
in real
we're got a
time.
thing going here.
We can think of anyone we want to talk to, and you were literally the first person that popped into my head.
Come on.
No, I'm not kidding.
There's-
I'm not kidding.
You could have had Trump, President, Vice.
Let me tell
old
you
President
something. We're
Trump.
doing very good. Excuse me. You did a terrific thing. I wouldn't go up, Bezos. Nobody cares. Listen to me. We're doing very well. We're doing terrific. Many people are saying, excuse me. We're not going
David,
to.
what do you do when he does that?
I don't know. Usually we're at dinner and I let him go because it cracks
I do
me
it for
up.
my own amusement. But no, seriously, William Shatner.
Well, wait a minute. Seriously, are you in your bedroom?
One of my
I mean,
one
my
of my
God.
I believe
bedrooms.
that.
One of my bedrooms.
Are you
Yeah.
wearing pajamas?
I'm doing a Jeffrey Toobin. Let's put it that way. I'm.
He literally
it's
rolled out
it's
of bed.
called doing a Toobin.
Or a single?
He could have pleasured himself before, after the Zoom. He just
He
couldn't.
really reach in and do it. I didn't see it.
I
only
didn't.
heard about it.
I didn't want to
Dana,
watch
paint
it.
the picture. It was literally like this, like in between Zooms. He's standing, walking around, and then he starts, and everyone's like,
What?
What do you mean he
Are
starts?
you
He
really-
reaches down.
No, the camera tilts down. And he's already kind of doing it, right? And he gets caught for a
Wait a
second.
minute. If the camera tilts down like that,
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sure that's pretty close to what it
here's
was.
both hands. You seriously? He actually
Mm-hmm.
he tilted the camera down so you would see what he was doing.
Yeah. And then 3 months later, there was a grace period. He was talking about global economics, but all I thought of was the Toobin. Did this figure of speech, when you were dating in the 1950s,
Wait
Or
a minute.
40s.
Wait a minute.
this figure of speech, Bill, when did this come up? He's to a woman. He's a very nice guy, but he can't.
Highly intelligent. He
can't keep it in his pants. When did that phrase come in? He can't keep it in his pants.
That came
Seems
around
later.
June the 30th,
1962.
Right.
when your teacher said it to you, to
Put it
your
in
parents.
pants. But she was referring to a pencil I was trying to steal, and I put it in my pocket. Are we going to start recording, or are
No,
we?
we're always recording.
We're almost done.
Shoot
Yeah.
the rehearsal. Oh, happy hour came
No,
quickly.
I thought of a question I wanted to ask you guys.
Yeah.
I have 38 for you, but go ahead.
All right. Well, this will be the 1A.
Okay.
You two are very funny guys. Your reputation, stand up, series. You're very funny people, naturally, professionally. Is it an onus? Is it onerous for you, like to have a conversation like this? Like you're expected to be funny?
Not in this particular session, no.
Well,
but in
because
life sometimes.
you're
yeah.
going to do an hour. We're going to do an
Yeah.
hour.
Right.
And we're going to talk and we're going to schmooze and we're going to.
Yeah.
Do you feel it like incumbent upon you to be amusing? Are your reputations
Yeah.
at stake because you're known to be amusing or funny? So you got to be funny now?
Well, since this is quote unquote kind of behind the scenes, we don't have as much of the allegiance to jokes per moment. Like I'm very interested in your whole life. So I like that we're going to work on both frequencies.
And
But
I'm not. So it kind of cancels it
It
out.
really does. And that's the question: who do I?
Who do you
who's
play
the most-
to?
Who's the most appealing? Right, exactly.
I think you'd play. I when I heard about this, because Dana did mention you early on, we were going to say let's talk to people from SNL or SNL related, like music act, cast member, host, whatever. Just some wispy connection, and then we can talk about anything also. But we'll touch on it. And then Dana put you on this first list of like, and I was like, oh, cool. And then I said, I don't know him. I almost saw you the other night, but I don't know him. But that's someone that is a guy that has so many things over his life that you can keep asking stuff about
that you've been asked a million times. We try not to do that. We try to get. But
no, I
we
did
also
a
have a few jokes.
deep dive on your new album, which is
Yeah. Have you heard it?
it's incredible. Bill, the lyrics, the one Tuffy about being Jewish in the 19 whatever and getting bullied and how you
Yeah.
had to be a badass. I think because you're not reinterpreting a Space Odyssey or you know Rocket
Right.
Man, that this is autobiographical in the sense. I know you had someone working with you, but listening to you and your stories.
No, it's totally
And-
the whole album is autobiographical.
Yeah.
That's that was the point, I guess. The whole thing is mystical in the way it came together, and also there's an addendum to it that I could talk to you about.
Yeah, I would like to know right now.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah.
So I did this album called Bill, and the thought was, well, let me just sketch it in.
It just came out. I mean, right? It's very it's new.
Yeah, it's been out
Yeah.
about a month. I became friendly with a guy who doesn't write for a living, who is an executive. I don't quite remember the circumstances, but it turns out we started meeting at a Chinese restaurant, of which you will know, so I won't say its name, but a weird Chinese restaurant whose main menu was duck, like
Oh,
Chinese
this
duck.
sounds like an old joke. You know?
Right. Two Chinese men went into it.
And
Right.
a duck. Yeah.
Right.
You can't do those
So-
jokes anymore.
So it became a routine. Every time he
Yeah.
came in from New York, he'd call and say, "I'm here," and we'd go to the Chinese restaurant, have duck, and we became the best of friends. There's quite a difference in our ages,
Mm-hmm.
but we have so much in common, including people and people we know, people we don't know, and the work. And we just became inordinately friendly. It was just a lovely thing that was happening. And then one day he brought a friend of his along to dinner to have duck. And this friend was a guy he was friendly with in university, and they had a musical group together. And this guy, whose name is Dan Miller, went on to do They Might Be Giants, and he's won all kinds of awards. And Rob, the poet, went on to do not to be an entertainer, but to be an executive. So now Dan, the musician, says to us, "Why don't we write an album?" "Oh, okay, let's write an album." And one of the two of them said, "Let's make it about Bill." And Bill said, "Oh, okay, let's make it about me, because I've written several books about
Bill
my."
said.
Bill said. So I've written several stories about things that have happened to me, and they became books. So we took some of the incidences that went through my life, like the one that comes to mind that is most succinct would be I'm leaving home. I've graduated from the University of Montreal, and I've been an actor since I was very young in Montreal, but now I'm going to the Mecca of Canada, Toronto. I'm on my way to Toronto. I'm leaving home, and I'm crossing a bridge, probably across the St. Lawrence River. And I'm driving a little cheap car. My father lent me a couple of $100, and I bought a Morris Minor, and it's falling apart, but it's my conveyance. And I've got everything I own in the car, and I'm driving across this bridge, and coming at me is an 18-wheeler. Oh my God. And that 18-wheeler is pushing this volume of air, and the air almost pushes me over the bridge, and I almost go over the bridge, and all my belongings of me, I'd have died, and nobody would have known that I ever existed. But I exist, and I cross the bridge. And the song is about we're always crossing a bridge, and we're always facing 18-wheelers coming at us. So the song, although ostensibly about me, is generalized, is got a more general appeal. And that's what we've done with all the songs on Bill. Now, the next part of this conversation, or this soliloquy, is I'm in New York City. Bill has been released. It's getting phenomenal reviews. Bill has been released. The three of us are having dinner. I'm on my way. This is Sunday night. And on Monday morning, I'm on my way to the desert to go up in the air. And we said, we'll write a song about space. We've got to write it. So we start sketching out, and then what's his name said, Little Blue Dot. And then we go in again, and we figure out what it's like, and we kind of sketch out the song. When I come down from space, having been in actuality in space, I call Rob. I said, "Rob, you remember the dinner we had last week? Yeah. Everything we talked about space? Yeah. Everything we said that space is going to be like, forget about it. Has nothing to do with the
So,
album. And
yeah.
we've written a song of what actually I felt had happened. We've got a monumental song. Ready.
Is that So Far From the Moon, or this is a new song now?
No.
Yeah, good.
It's So Far From the Moon
Is on Bill, and it's
is
kind
on
of
Bill,
and
and this is hopefully
come.
on the next album.
Well, I was just to go to that. I was driving down the 101 from Santa Ynez, and it was landing, and you came out, and of course, like everyone has told you, first of all, how articulate you were, because I looked at the Wikipedia page. You're not, 22, 23, 24 years of age. I felt like you were so present, and then what you said was so emotional, and the world has talked about it. How does it feel now? It's been a few weeks later that you spontaneously came out of there and you talked about that thin blue line shot into outer space. The whole world's in tears.
Yeah.
And this happens to you now. I mean, it's still a little surreal.
Yeah, what you're saying is really, to me, is fascinating. When 2 years ago, a young producer who produced Better Late Than Never, a series that went around the world, went around with some great guys, and it was very successful, but it was too expensive. The network canceled after 2 years. So this guy, Jason Ehrlich, was the producer on it. So he says to me one day, Blue Origin is going to send a spaceship up there, and they're going to get passengers, and you should go. And I said, Jason, why would I want to go? I don't need to go.
I don't need to go.
I've got shit to do.
Yeah, exactly. I got interviews to make.
He goes, it's 12 minutes. You're like, okay, everyone's got 12 minutes.
Somewhere. So he says, no, we really would. So he calls Seattle, Amazon. And they say, oh, great idea. Come on up. So we fly up to Seattle and we enter the lobby of Amazon, which is a giant room filled with Star Trek paraphernalia.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable number. The spaceship itself, the Enterprise itself is in a big glass globe and people flock there. And there comes Jeff Bezos. Hey, Jeff. And we take pictures around the Enterprise. Then we sit down at the table and they say, oh, yeah, that's a really cool idea. So we leave Seattle thinking, And I'm thinking, well, I suppose, go up into space. COVID hits, a year goes by, and nothing happens. And then somewhere about 6 months ago, they called and they said, Jeff is going to go up. That's all we hear. So Jason Ehrlich says, well, maybe Jeff will pick you to be his, I don't know, brother. Okay?
Sadie Hawkins.
A lovely lady, and he picks a very young guy. And those two. So now they go up. And I said to Jason, you see, nobody's interested. It's not.
And then
Nobody cares about me.
Nobody cares about it. So now they announce the second vehicle is going to go up. And Jason says, you can go in the second vehicle. and I said, listen, that's like the vice president, No, they want the president. The president went up. The vice president never appears. I'm not going to go. I don't need to go. It's too much trouble out in the desert. They call Shatner. Would you like to go? I'm thinking, up in space.
I like that.
I like it. Weightlessness. What's that?
Space.
Yeah. No pilots. You don't even need
pilot.
pilot.
Yeah.
You just press a button like a ride.
Maybe they'll need a pilot.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Some experience.
You actually, you were trained to take over.
Voice commands. I could give voice commands.
I can't believe I'm in space.
I agree to go based on the thrill of going up. It's purely and only.
Yeah.
To my mind, nobody's going to pay any attention. They weren't going to pay any attention to begin with. Second shot, forget about it. Just for me.
No, it was
That's
Captain
the only
Kirk.
one I heard
Captain
about
Kirk
was yours.
is going into space.
Yeah.
It was
That's
so
a big
big. I mean,
who knew? I didn't know.
I could have predicted it, but I know from your point of view, why would
If
they
I
care?
had
It's a second
called,
flight.
Dana,
Yeah.
if I had called you, if you just said, call me, I'll tell you what it's going to be like. But no, you kept your silence. And what did I know?
I used to run a PR firm. And it was a home run,
really?
but
That's true.
But
I was the bye-bye guy. They could have said, it would have made sense. I go, do you want the bye-bye guy? And I'd be like, bye-bye. And I go up in the rocket. But no one was listening to me.
Yeah, but there's a certain permanence to bye-bye. Au revoir. See you soon.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Yeah, we'll be
That's
back
right.
in
If
a
it
bit. You're
exploded,
right.
if it had exploded on takeoff, that would have been the greatest mic drop.
Oh,
in a way.
wow.
You know,
And
like-
there was that possibility because
Yes.
going through my head while
Yes,
I'm
it's going to
lying
blow
there,
up.
and
Yeah.
there's a pause, are that documentary everybody's seen about the Hindenburg
Yeah.
Yeah.
exploding and people
Yeah.
running. Oh, the humanity of
Humanity. If it had been filled with helium, it would have been, oh, the humanity. Oh, my God.
That's funny. Now that's funny.
That's
but it's
never it got
but
a
it
laugh.
was filled with hydrogen, and that's what they were putting in the rocket.
And they
Hydrogen.
said, Bill,
Anytime
before you
there's
get
a
on,
pause, Bill,
you
on
press-
the launch pad. Go ahead, David.
I was saying he got worried because right before they went up, they go, "Can you sign these 200 waivers? Just press hard, 12 copies, just initial. Where if you blow up, everything's cool and you
They
don't worry
did
about."
that on the first conversation. There were multiple. Did you ever skydive? Have you guys ever
I haven't.
skydived?
No, but I've
Well,
been in
that's a thrill.
airplane.
Okay, that's like
Yeah.
beyond the. Well,
Yeah.
they take film of you saying it's okay. I mean,
Right.
Oh yeah.
the plan they go through to make sure they're not to blame if you die.
I'm still suing, no matter what.
They would have sued Paramount Pictures or something. if you'd
anybody.
done-
I'll sue anybody in your. By the way, I have to say, I know you went up and it was fun, but everyone is so horny for Mars. Like, why Mars? To me, and this is my opinion, it's even a bigger shithole than the moon. Like, nothing's happening on Mars, nothing's happening on the moon, and I believe in UFOs and stuff. So that's sort of.
What do you mean you believe in UFO?
Yeah.
I
does
mean,
that
I think.
mean?
I mean,
See, I told you Bill would
no,
ask
I'm just going to
probing
say
questions.
they are real. I don't believe
What?
they're real.
Well,
That's all.
wait a minute. There's a difference here. UFOs means unidentified flying objects.
I believe things are unidentified.
They're everywhere.
There's shit going on that's unidentified.
There's
Yeah.
stuff in my
There's
room
nothing to
I don't
believe
know.
in. It's
Yeah,
out there. Do you know what Fata Morgana is?
I worked with them
It was. It's a pasta dish, isn't it?
No.
Fata Morgana.
from
Okay.
Star Wars.
No. Fata Morgana is the phenomena that you see in the desert with oases. Why do you see an oasis in the desert on occasion?
A mirage.
Yeah, the pool and
Yeah.
and the palm trees and the thing.
Yeah, that's UFOs.
That's being projected from an actual oasis somewhere. It could be 1,000 miles away, but as a result of some visual phenomena where that image is projected into a heat shelf, a current, and it's a broadcasting phenomena that like whales bounce off their sound off of
Yeah.
warm
sonar. Yeah.
warm currents, and it can be heard thousands of miles away. These images bounce off a heat current and then appear on Earth 100 miles, 10 miles, 1,000 miles away.
Right.
And that's called a Fata Morgana.
So wait a minute, William
So what you
Shatner.
might be seeing is Fata Morganas.
Yeah, William Shatner.
So you're saying Star Trek was not real? You're saying that you didn't go to those planets?
No, I did.
Okay, thank you. Dana doesn't get it.
I want to do my wish list, but in a second. I have a wish list.
Well, I have a question too.
Okay, but this is it related
I've
to
been here
Blue
for a while,
Origin?
so I think instead of coming to blows, you could take
Is it
turns.
related to Blue Origin?
Yeah.
Oh, my
it's
wish
Blue
list is
Hawaii,
because
the movie. Go ahead.
Elvis, William Shatner was the first artist to go in space and come back down, and then we got all this cool poetry, basically, spontaneously. So the next spaceship, I'm thinking Dylan, Dr. Dre, Springsteen, Howard Stern, Billie Eilish, and David Spade.
You just added me.
I just added you in, but I
Yeah,
mean, shouldn't we
because you felt
send Bob?
badly.
Can
you
we
felt
send?
badly because you interrupted him from asking a
I
question.
did.
You thought you'd make him, you throw him a bone.
Now we're getting into Raw Nerve, which I love, by the way. Does anyone ever ask you about that show, Bill?
I'm doing a show called I Don't Understand. I'm doing a talk show called I Don't Understand. Again, hardly anybody's watching it because it's streaming, but you can look it up. But I get all those. I've done 50 half hours
Yeah,
of the weirdest, strangest people and subjects.
yeah.
And although
I
it's
love
not personality driven like Raw Nerve, like, what's a lie? What is a lie?
Oh, that's
Right.
why you
Find a
try
lie.
to catch me on what's a UFO.
No, what's a lie? Well, what's a UFO? Okay, talk about a UFO.
The biggest lies we tell are the stories we tell ourselves.
Oh boy, heavy.
Well, that requires analysis too. David,
Yeah,
take the UFO thing, for example.
sure.
What do you mean you believe in UFOs? What does
Well,
that mean?
UFO is a term. You're right. Unidentified flying object. That could be a
Right.
piece of paper in here. It's
Right.
unidentified means nothing. Is it
Right.
actual aliens from different planet? That's a little more
That's it.
specific. And
Right.
have you seen those pictures? It could be fake on the moon where there's like 3 ships on the side of it waiting in the wings. Terrifying.
No, I haven't seen that picture.
Terrifying. And there's a lot of stuff like that. But I believe since I was a kid, I was into that stuff. So, but I think you're into that.
Well, I'm into it in as much that those recent pictures from the Navy pilots
Mhm.
Yeah.
make you think, what is that? And then the Navy talks about ships going under the water,
Yeah.
disappearing into the water. What is that? We don't know. I mean, that's
They could be coming from the bottom. They don't have to come from space. They could be chilling on the bottom of the ocean, shooting up.
one of
all
the
the time.
conversations I had with Bob Ballard, who is the guy who filmed the Titanic, but he's a major marine biologist.
Mm-hmm.
So he was looking. He had sent a bathysphere down to the separation of tectonic plates at 30,000
Jesus.
feet under the ocean. Okay, there is a
Okay.
there is a bleeding scar in the ocean. I believe there are
Right.
many where the tectonic plates are separating, and
Yes.
there's magma right
Coming
there,
up.
Terrifying.
hot stone. Okay,
Yeah.
so he puts a bathysphere with people in it down below, and he's like lurking there, and he can't come up because there's a cave, and finally he gets up, and they're coming up like this slowly, and they're looking at the window, and they're seeing what seems to be like a chimney, and they're going past the chimney, and suddenly they're at the top of the chimney, and spewing out of the chimney is hot 600-degree Fahrenheit water. Boiling point of water is 212 degrees. 600 degrees Fahrenheit
Yeah.
is coming out of this plume of water. Not only it's 30,000 feet under, so there's 30,000 feet of pressure, 600 degrees Fahrenheit boiling
Mhm.
water, and it's all sulfurous.
Okay.
And as they go by, they see 13-foot worms living there and clams. They're living
Right.
in that
Yeah.
extreme,
Miasma of heat
extreme
and-
conditions.
Yeah.
Extreme of biles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What does that say about life?
It can go anywhere.
The sea is
Anyway.
terrifying. Terrifying.
Well, why is it terrifying?
Well, I think there's so much unknown that way that we don't pay attention to, and we always
But,
look it up.
but unknown doesn't mean necessarily terrifying.
Just to me, it does. But I
Which
think
is, David, that's a clue to your whole character,
Mhm.
Fear.
isn't it?
Fear.
Don't lean in. That makes me more scared. That means you're onto something.
But no, when you lean back, that's scary.
Self-deprecating character.
Yeah, no,
You're
I'm
not
scared
fearful.
of 6-foot worms and
Did you say defecating?
Yes, I was just describing an action that I'm performing right now. No, I said deprecating.
Oh, Mr. Tubin, it's another way of going.
yeah,
This
Dana's
whole
like
thing
that.
is a waist down affair.
Right.
No one sees what goes.
I have
I'm
a
gonna
Dennis
stand
Miller
up.
story that just to change gears. I'm sorry, this is so
Criminy.
boring, but I think you were the host of SNL, and Dennis said that he walked somewhere with you. You might not remember this. He was just his observation, but he told me years ago that when you walk with people, that when he walked with you, when people would yell your name, you would casually go like that because that's kind of what they wanted, and you would just say it while you talked because it was so ingrained, and people just go, "Hey, I was going, hey," while you're still
That's a
talking.
lovely story. What a
It
great
can't
story.
be true. Can't be true at all.
I can't even do that. That's the best
That's more
Is
of a
that-
Spock thing.
Is that
I
a
can't do that.
Yeah,
He
that was
said
a-
people wanted you to do it, and you were like casual because you were so famous. It was sort of a fun complimentary story that you were walking around and so
Actually,
many
what I
people
do
knew
is
you.
like what the Queen does. I just sort of regally. Thank you very much. Thank
Well,
you.
let's put a hit out
What?
on them. Nothing serious.
I have a question. What's
Yes.
more of a popular phrase that you hear? Is it "beam me up, Gotti, or Warp Speed Captain?
You know, have you gone out and signed autographs at
Yeah.
Comic Con and stuff like that?
Oh, Comic-Con's a big one. You probably don't do them because you're too big of a deal at those things.
No, I don't do. I don't do small things. I just do very large things.
Yeah, you do that.
Or small things that pay very well. I mean,
I think that's good.
it's a
You're
joke.
not afraid to say no.
You sign on the autograph. You sign. They ask, "Would you sign something?" So it's a toss-up between those two, which is the most popular.
See, hey Dana, that was a good question.
That was a good
Why
question.
shouldn't you
I
be
like
able to
that.
ask a good question, David?
Because I'm kind of stupid, Dana said. But I think that was because I know Star Trek
Are you
growing
guys
up.
going to get along? Are
I've
you
had
guys gonna get
5 years of intensive therapy. I started at 60.
along?
I learned a lot. You
Right,
came up a
but does-
lot in
Does
therapy.
David know about therapy and all that kind of thing?
I do. I haven't gotten into it, but that means I'm not fixed yet. But I'm just sort of skimming by. But Dana teaches me a lot because Dana and I are old friends, and he's very
Pre
smart.
SNL.
And we have dinners, and I learn a lot from him because he knows the drill. And so
I'm the elder statesman,
We-
but I do. We get along really well. I've known David since before SNL.
There was a movie that David was in.
everybody quiet.
8 heads in a.
It was a straight roll, David,
Oh,
and you were splitting. You were right on the ledge of. It was a beautiful performance of you who are known for your comedy. Throttled that comedic instinct way back, and you were very real, and it was really a really good performance. What movie would that have been? That I would
not
have.
Jack and Jill.
Tommy Boy.
No, there was one called Warning Shot where I played it straight. There's a couple where I don't do that many, and people say you should do it more. But the truth is, I don't get offered that stuff. Of course, you have to go out there and find it and chase it and work for nothing, do all that. And it's a big payoff if you can find
Here's a
it.
thought I've had, and I need you two guys to corroborate it. Most, if not all, comics, people known for the comedy and do stand-up and now become traditionally, oh, you're funny, be funny,
Yeah.
started off as actors. And just you were naturally amusing, and people said, "Oh, you're funny," and you developed that gift. And finally, the acting roles became less and less, and the demand for you as a comic became more and more, and your careers became that of being funny. Is that what happens?
I started it just as a stand-up with no aspirations to do anything other than
No kidding. That's
try to be. Didn't even want to be a
exactly
stand-up.
the opposite of what I just said.
No, but
Well,
Go ahead,
I would,
David.
yeah, go. I mean, the same thing. I worship movies. You know, we talked about Goldfinger the other day, Sean Connery, or The Great Escape. But for me, when I had a big family, 5 of us, rough and tumble childhood. When I would see the Danny Kaye show or the Jackie Gleason show early on, and then Carol Burnett and Smothers Brothers and Flips. Well, no, I aspired to that when I saw Laugh-In, when I saw Saturday Night Live, because I could kind of do voices, and I got a lot of attention for that when I was 9 years of age. I could talk like the Beatles. And that was a big hit with my mom. You know,
Oh, at least something was.
I said, "Mom, do you think you could make me some pancakes?" And she dropped the batter and screamed. So I ran out. No, it was she laughed. But I what about you being a dramatic actor and then also going on Third Rock and other things that are overtly comedic, and then you went back Boston Legal, you played Denny Crane, that arc. I mean, your Wikipedia page is just loaded with shit. I mean, it is the most impressive, most eclectic career.
Twilight
that
Zone.
just keeps going.
I love to make people laugh, but I don't tell jokes per se. I mean, I can tell a
But
joke.
you're very funny. Your
So
persona's
I
funny.
have the same sense of humor that you guys have. Your mind works. Oh, you can make it funny. You can make it straight, or you can make it funny. You make it funny because you like to see people smile and then laugh, and So I'm the same way. But my whole genesis was that as an actor. But I always tried to find the fun, the comedy, the
something
laugh
light. Yeah.
in no matter what it was, because people, if they're somebody's just died in their arms, might be not amusing, but might have an observation that in retrospect is funny.
You know, when I see you, you seem just seeing you from a distance in your career and then on talk shows and stuff, you do have a lightness to you that's more of a comedic side to me than some actors are very heavy for all the drama you've done. And that's fine too. But I just felt like when me and Dana were going to talk to you, you just feel like it's going to be more fun because you're sort of on that vibe anyway. So you wouldn't take anything offense or that kind of stuff. You're just kind of go back and forth with it and do your, and that's
absolutely. I think talk shows like the ones, essentially this is a talk show, or at least, the effect is you want to be informed, you want to have some insight, but you also want to be amused. You want to laugh. If you can make you laugh and inform you at the same time, it's much more entertaining. And I've gone by that for a long time.
Well, I would say two things. One is, like, I worked with Mickey Rooney in 1981, my first job ever. I met a lot of older actors at that point that were bitter by their time in show business and or self-important. And none of that ever appeared in your vibe. It was, you had a sense of humor about the entire ride, and you could do something flat, dramatic, brilliant, or you could do something completely hilarious. And you just, to me, I admire that about you, that you never got self-important or bitter, and you seem to be having fun.
Well, I don't know what they're self-important about.
Well, I mean, a lot of people find a reason maybe to be.
Well,
right. They delve
that Wikipedia page feels pretty good.
They research a reason for feeling self-important. I know. I don't get it. And I never understood, for example, Brando said about acting, it's child's play, and he got discouraged about it. I think that being an actor, which is, I mean, you're reading somebody else's words, but there's so many colors, there's so many nuances that if you're really working and thinking about it, you know how subtle timing is. I don't have to tell you two guys how you can miss a laugh just by somebody coughing in the audience. I mean, it's as delicate as a cobweb, and to keep that cobweb alive, to make every night in your stand-up or in a play, the laugh is still there. And sometimes, the three of us know only too well, the laugh disappears. What the hell happened? What happened to the laugh that was there? What are you doing that is subtly different from last night that the laugh didn't come?
I did it this weekend. I did 2 shows, and there's one joke, or not joke, but I sort of talk for a little bit.
Do it, David. Tell us, give us the example.
Well, it's not really an example. Well, there was one where I said, when people sneeze, I just said, bless you. And I said, I used to say that, but for 2 years in the middle recently, when they would sneeze, I'd say, oh shit, we're all going to die. And then I say it's so real. They were like, right. And then one night it's a big laugh. And the next night I added to it and I said, and then for a month when it got really bad, I said, oh fuck, we're going to for sure die because of your deadly poison boogers that you're shooting out at 3,000 miles an hour into my faculties. And then I go, but then I tighten it back up. It's just bless you now. It's easier. It's quicker.
That's not funny.
And you tighten it back up.
One night they just listen like and stare. And the next night they're like, hey, that's a funny joke. And you go, and you listen back, go, what was different? It's an eyebrow. It's either you are loud or quieter.
Also, I love that phrase that we've all heard, and it's worthwhile discussing. It's too soon.
Oh yeah,
right.
About anything, about making political commentary on something that's too soon. So COVID might be. It still might
too
be
soon
too
as
soon.
a question. As soon as it bombs, too soon. Yeah.
Some people are still wearing masks.
Well, that's true. If they don't laugh too soon, exactly.
I think a lot of it is just clarity, right, David? I mean, if you do a bit and you've got like 3 lines you have to say in sequence perfectly to set up the funny part, and then you get kind of used to it, and maybe you skip one little phrase and they don't get what the premise is.
It's
That's
one
exactly
word.
right. Imagine being in a long run play, of which I have been in more than one, and every night, that laugh is like a pearl. There's a string of pearls of laughs that have come about. You're in rehearsal, and you don't know where the laughs are. Take my wife, please. That's a laugh. But where the other laughs are, you really don't know until same with your stand-up. You write your stand-up, and then, okay, that I know that's going to be funny, but is this funny? Oh, suddenly they're laughing. Why the hell?
They laugh on the setup, and you go, well, that's not even the funny part.
But
they all decide that's the funny part at once. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Going to Saturday Night Live for a second to that point is that at read through you get laughs and you get on the show. That's Wednesday. Thursday you do a dry rehearsal 5-10 times in a row with the crew. Laughs the first time, then there's no laughter. Friday you're doing walkthroughs, no laughter. Everyone's bored, looking at the ceiling. By the time you get to the practice show at like 7 p.m. on Saturday, you're like, I don't even know. And then this is funny.
Yeah.
But you're almost...
Everyone's tired of it by then.
I just want to say, I was on Oprah one time, but it was with Chevy Chase and Tina Fey and people, and she always asks, who's your favorite host? So at that moment, because of... you're the name that came up for me. I just said William Shatner. And the reason was, one was it was such a thrill being a Star Trek fan. It was like maybe my 6th show. And I got to play Khan in a sketch. I'm doing Ricardo Montalban. All that was surreal. But then I noticed your attitude about SNL was so light and fun. And I said to you, you're so loose and having so much fun. How are you doing this? He goes, well, how else would you do this? We're under rehearsed. We don't know where we're going, and it was the perfect attitude of why take this so seriously? Right. It's impossible. When it happens, it's great.
But then the other part that is butt tightening is the word. Remember the words. Yeah. You got to remember the words. In this case, they're all in front of you, so you're not going to forget the words. The other thing is you're riveted looking at the cards as against trying to get looser, look away, give it a little juice. But so many of the people who come on are and then I went down the street
and Christopher Walken, which I've mentioned, just stared straight at the cards and never looked at anybody, and it worked. He just looked straight at the card, didn't even look over at you. Don't know why we're going here. Not going to work, But with him, it worked.
Dana, let me bore you guys with a quick story. Christopher Walken, I don't really do a good impression, but he was on a movie I did. And we were in a house with the lights off. It was getting dark, and then we come out, and the lights come on. And so we start in the dark. So we're standing in the dark. There's probably 4 of us. We can't even see each other. And he goes, David, have you ever worked with an actor dog? And I go, yeah, there's one in this movie. And he goes, they're good. They know what they're doing. They train them pretty well. And I go, yep. And then dead silent. And then he goes, hey, David, you ever work with an actor cat? And I go, an actor cat? I go, no. And he goes, they're no good. They don't do anything. Like they have a trainer, but if you say go there, they don't. And then if you yell at them, they jump. But any cat will do that. And I go, yeah?
Yeah.
And then silence. And then he goes, hey, David, you ever work on an actor mouse? And I go, no way.
It sounds like an old joke.
I did on Mousetrap. And I go, oh, that's right. You did a movie called Mousetrap. And he goes, they're good. They're smart. He goes, you say go up and take a beat and go to the right. And they do. I don't know how. And I go, oh, and he goes, I'd work again with the mouse. And I go, I'll look.
And he's deliberately,
he's very serious,
funny, right?
Very serious. He's just telling
me. No, was he doing a routine or was he?
Just telling me.
That sounds like a great routine.
I know.
It's so funny to me. And the other people in there were going, and then he goes, then they're like, okay, rolling. And he's like, okay, quiet. I'm like, is it a joke? I don't know. It just was so great. Act a mouse.
Have a
he
word
did.
with a
I
mouse.
forgot.
I did a play. Boys in the Band was a big hit. And then Crowley was the author's name. And he had written the second play. It was probably his first play. And Boys in the Band was the second play. Anyway, we were now in Los Angeles. We were going to go to Broadway on Crowley's next play. and it wasn't as good as Boys in the Band. So the opening moment is this actress, well-known Broadway actress, whose name I can't remember, and I come out on the apron in darkness, okay? And we're holding hands, and the curtains part, the lights come up, play begins. So we walk out onto the apron, opening night in Los Angeles, sold-out house. She clutches my hand, and then she turns to me, I guess, and whispers, "Are we in a disaster?"
Right when it comes up.
And we were. It never got out of Los Angeles. She knew it was a disaster. But imagine, opening night.
Yeah.
Are we in a disaster?
That's all your inner monologue is the whole night. It's like,
I had my Christopher Walken moment that I don't know how funny it is, but it always stuck with me. We're in a wooden spaceship, an 8H, right? A Jack Handy sketch. So we're going to land on planet Earth, but our landing door always kills somebody. So when we walk out, the local townspeople are mad. Kill him, hang him high. And so in rehearsal, he had one line where he would say, "Let's get out of here." But he would just say to me, he'd say, "Let's get out of here." And then we'd go back in the wooden spaceship, cramped in this little space. And he'd laugh for like a minute after every take. Let's get out of here. Just, I don't know why.
You know, he is admirable. He's a wonderful actor.
Brilliant.
But
Yeah.
I guess you know something that strikes me as being astonishing is that he was a tap dancer. He was a dancer.
yeah.
And so there are films that, at least one that I can think of, where he does a little tap dance routine while waiting around a lamp pole.
Yes.
I thought, of course, he just ad-libbed
Yeah.
that, or he told the director, "I can do this." What a sensational what a character
Yeah.
he is.
He was
He
was a
child.
janitor in this one, Dana, when I did with
Oh.
him. And he's got a broom and he goes, "What if I danced around with the broom?" Same thing. And we said, yeah. And he's really good. He did that old video.
He did Fred Astaire.
He did a video for like, not Moby, but Beck or someone where he danced.
He's very, very light on his feet. Fun to watch. When I was at SNL, I had this old Southern gentleman who was doing my wardrobe, and Christopher Walken was the guest host, and he'd been a child actor and had performed in New York City.
The dresser was a child.
No, Christopher Walken's,
Chris Walken.
and the dresser knew him back then.
Oh,
And just talked about him now because Chris had this sort of almost scary, funny vibe around him. And he said to me, this old Southern gentleman said about Chris, he's got the devil in his eyes. And he was serious. He's got the devil in his
he's
eyes.
also got the devil in his hair.
It's great. It's so funny.
His whole thing is the devil. I mean, he's quite a character. I wish I've never met him. I don't think. I mean, I would love to have a conversation with him.
He's really interesting, really surprisingly vulnerable. He's kind of intimidating, but he's very, very sweet. And it's almost old fashioned in a sense. I would like to know what you think about this, Bill. It's just when you see Al Pacino in The Godfather, which is brilliant. And then my performance I love is when he extenuated his Cuban accent in Scarface. Choro no, man. Choro no, what you gotta do. What you gotta do, man? Say goodbye to the bad guy, right? And it seems like as actors get older down their career, they'll become way more theatrical because maybe they're bored or something.
I think they're looser.
Just loose.
I think
It's more
what happens
playtime.
is you can go in any direction. So you go in three directions.
Yeah.
Or you choose 1, 2, 3. You don't just say hello. You go
confidence, maybe. Like a confidence to go like,
absolutely.
you can play it more real. Like, I don't always say hello in real life. I go, oh, you could do anything because that really happens in real life. So you can play.
Right.
There's so many different ways to play almost any line. I'm sorry. I'm answering for you. I'm sorry. But that's what
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I do believe it has to do with confidence. If you've gotten older and you're still working, then there's a certain amount of confidence.
How about you personally? I mean, do you feel like, did your confidence get to a point? Did it ebb and wane, or did it go? And where is it now?
Absolutely, depending on how it's going.
Yeah.
But going along in that theme, it's also interesting how I think you should simplify. I think in a joke, the more you can cut superfluous material
course.
away from the words.
Mhm.
You got to hone it down to its basic simplicity. The more simple you are
Mhm.
as an individual, as an artist, as a person, as in a relationship, the more honest and simple it becomes, then just being.
Right. Not
And you don't
trying,
make the
not,
crowd
not
work.
pushing.
You don't make the crowd work.
I feel like the self-critical voice that, especially in stand-up or whatever, when you're doing a set and you're giving yourself a report card, the best sets are when that voice disappears and you're just completely fluid in the moment.
And it.
It's always a really nice place to get to. But I did a movie with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas talk about simplicity, because I was so in awe of them, and we're just shooting a scene around a little table, and they have their lines, but they just say them. You know, Kirk Douglas like, I don't think we should rob the bank, just that, and Burt's like, if we don't rob it now, we'll never rob it, and they just like they did take. But that's it. And they're Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas. Then I'd come around to my coverage and I'd go, what do you guys think or whatever? And then Kirk Douglas always said, I think we got it. There's no reason to do another take. So he was
I like when you work with actors and they do 10 of the exact same takes. And you're like, I like to screw around and say, oh, they're going to pick it if they're a good editor. But sometimes people go, this is the way I see it. This is the way it's going to be. And you're not going to get me off it. So here it is.
I got a funny moment. I got a funny moment about that. I did a movie, Judgment at Nuremberg, it was called, and I played a officer at the lawyer's desk.
Is this
Okay,
is
and
this
all these
from
people came in.
Montgomery Cliff and everything, or no?
That's it.
Oh,
And Burt Lancaster.
oh, that movie. Oh my God, that's
So I'm at the desk doing nothing,
Yeah.
just being this character that's at the desk, but I'm seeing everybody come in because everybody comes in to testify.
yeah.
So they all do their thing. They do one day. Judy Garland will come up.
Ooh.
Burt Lancaster comes in, does his day, and he does. You'll have to do him. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I'm a good German.
I'm telling you, I did nothing. I was simply following orders. I didn't kill nobody, nowhere, no how. I'm going to make it
Okay.
rain. Sorry, go ahead.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cut. Great, Burt. Great. Everybody applaud Burt. Burt says, thank you very much. And he leaves. Okay. The next morning, hey, everybody were stopped cutting not doing the schedule. Burt wants to come in and he didn't feel right about doing it. He's going to do it
take
again.
two.
Take two. So Burt Lancaster
Oh,
comes
really?
back in. Now do Burt Lancaster like you just
I'm
did.
telling you, I did nothing wrong. I never killed anybody. You can ask anybody. I was simply.
Cut. Great, Burt. That was
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Was it like the same reading?
He just did exactly the
Oh,
same
Exactly the
thing.
same
It was
thing.
hysterical.
I just want to get it
We
again.
laughed and laughed.
He was sweet. He was
I've
he was
got-
very nice, man.
How
I
about
liked
this? This is an IMDb roulette question. There is Twilight Zone in there. Did you ever do Night Gallery, which scared the shit out of me? I was scared of Night
That
Gallery.
was
Do you remember Night
68.
Gallery?
Oh yeah, 67,
I remember
68.
that gallery, but I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
remember. I all those jobs back then were
I
half
love
hour.
it. I love it.
Well, those half hour shows and the hour shows. You did them to make a living. I mean, you had the rent to pay and the children to feed, and nobody, the audience at large, people who are going to watch you in this, don't understand that you also have to make a living
Yeah.
as an actor. And if you're not making $20 million a picture, which you put away and live on the interest, you have to work. And so some of the jobs you take because it's work. and
By
it's
the way,
paid.
I want to thank Bill for you saved me a lot of money. Well, here's the story. I happened upon, and I won't name the stock. I happened upon out of probably a dumb investment. I got a lot of one particular stock. It's kind of famous now, but when it doubled, the
tripled and quadrupled.
the experts said, no, you gotta sell it because it would gyrate down. It would double and then come back.
Right.
But I remember you regretting selling Priceline, so I held on to it, and I still am holding on to it today. So I just want to thank you.
Fantastic. So it was the .com bubble.
Yeah.
It went way up.
Yeah.
But because I was there originally,
hmm
there's a thing called a tie-in or you tie up or you can't sell it
Yeah,
for a year and a
while,
half.
Yeah.
So it went up, and I'm watching it go up. I got it for like 25 cents, and it went up to $150 or more. I'm thinking, God, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to, and then
I'm sorry.
it starts to come down, and I can't sell it. And then I can sell it, and it's back down to 25 cents. So I sold it. Then it goes back.
And then it went up again.
Thousands of dollars.
I have
But
a
you-
question.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, I was just curious about this Star Trek, and then part of the 70s where you're kind of doing game shows or whatever, but then all of a sudden there's 7 Star Trek movies. I mean, that's never happened to anyone in show business, a series from the and then 7 Star Trek movies, one in which you directed. I just think that's a fascinating part of your incredible.
It was.
Well, did you not get paid? I think it said that you don't get paid a lot on Star Trek because that's an early job, right?
Well, we didn't get. No, it was an early job, and we were all. I had done Broadway and movies
A lot of
and
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
Before Star Trek, but to get to that level, you had to star in. Even movies didn't do it. You had to do a series, and
Sure.
when I did that series,
Mm-hmm.
it put me in another level, and I was able to do those movies. And I stopped doing half-hour shows and hour shows.
Yeah.
Stop playing the heavy on Charlie's Angels.
Did I?
No, it just sounds like something someone
right.
would do.
Right.
Just for a week of work.
Did
go
you
down
ever
there.
play a bad? You did a couple Columbos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
Columbo, I
great.
love
How was Peter Falk?
They were sensational. And I don't know whether this is common knowledge. They were very difficult to write for. And they were difficult
The reverse
because
engineering.
you-
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's
That's
happening?
exactly right. Well, it means that you know who the criminal is.
Yeah.
And the whole drama is Columbo learning who the criminal is. But you the audience
Knows.
know who it is.
Yeah.
So what's the jeopardy?
And then
Oh, wow.
have you
It
seen
still
those,
works.
David? Because he plays
And
the
Very difficult to make it work.
yes.
I've seen Columbo when he makes a side story, like he goes, "Is this your dog? Oh, I had a dog like this. Meanwhile, I know you killed the guy. But
Yeah,
is this
Exactly.
He played,
Labrador,
yeah,
yeah.
It was kind of a passive aggressive character. When you watch it, you feel like he knew, but he just left him dangling for weeks.
Yeah,
I don't
that's what I'm
know.
saying.
My wife,
And I don't know that when he buckled his coat,
yeah,
what you were going to see when he
Might have-
fling open his coat.
might have been a
you know.
Tubin, maybe pre-Tubin,
Yeah, right,
an early
exactly.
Tubin.
I was going to go
Oh,
there.
Peter Falk.
But I thought it better
Oh,
not.
better
Wait,
not.
Dana,
Yes,
on
Gemini.
when this guy did SNL, you were newer, you said.
Oh yeah,
And
6,
who
8
wrote,
shows.
Who wrote the Star Trek sketch? Was that Smigel?
Probably, I don't know. It was
And Mr. Shatner, were you okay with that sketch, beginning, middle, end, or?
Oh yeah, that sketch reminded me or made me aware of the best comedy is played absolutely real.
yes,
If you can be ultra
serious. Yeah,
ultra
Yeah.
serious, if it's there's a comedic cloud, it's just a little hint, a mist of comedy. So the audience knows it's funny, but doesn't know it's funny.
yeah.
You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
a balance there that you guys, you superb comedians, know exactly what I mean. The audience, you and I three of us are talking to, might not know what we're talking about. But there is a hint of the actor is in on the comedy,
Yes.
but it's absolutely real.
Mhm.
And those are the comedic actors. And then there's the actors who don't have that hint, and it becomes absolutely real. It's not funny.
Kind of wacky. There was a TJ Hooker sketch that we did as well. And again, we played it just flat as real as possible. Some of the car was whipping around. I can't remember. And then there was one where you played some vain. You were in a mirror posing, going, "Look at that butt. Look at these arms." Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah,
What-
oh yeah,
what's
yeah,
that?
yeah. That was funny
I mean, you had a
too.
killer show. Yeah, I mean, that was like everything worked.
It was a killer show. The epitome of that was there was a movie I did with De Niro, and I came on as myself to show him how to jump over a car.
Oh.
Oh.
And I said to them, "Look, I'm going to play hurt, and don't cut the camera.
Because you're pretending.
when I play her.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
it's
gonna
going to look
jump over the
real.
car,
Yeah.
and I'll come up out of the car and I'm going to play her. Do not
Ever.
Worry
Cut the
about it.
camera.
don't. No matter,
matter
what
what
I do, do not cut the
Never
camera.
cut.
Right. So I jump over the car, and now I'm being ultra real. Oh shit! Oh, damn! Oh, and they cut the
They
camera.
cut, which is the most flattering thing they could have done for you.
Why did you do
I
that?
told you not to cut. It's almost like a Ralph Crandom thing or something. You know,
Right.
get out of here.
But that's the funny part. That was actually funny. I did it again, but probably not as well as the first time.
No.
Where you play ultra, and the audience is in on the joke.
Yeah, pain is funny. I mean, look at
That's interesting.
Laurel and Hardy. Look at the Three
Yeah.
Stooges. Look at
Yeah, bang,
pratfalls. Bang. The Three Stooges have gotten. When I think about them now and the abstraction of people hitting your friend with a hammer in his face and on his head and stuff, it seems funnier now than when I was a kid because I loved Abbott and Costello, and I really liked the Three Stooges.
Abbott and Costello.
Yeah.
Abbott and Costello had more intellect. With that Who's on the classic sketch. That classic sketch is maybe the most brilliant written piece of comedy ever. And delivered.
Full circle, I did an homage to Abbott and Costello, Lou Costello, when Christopher Walken was in Wayne's World 2, and he's kind of the bad guy, and I'm playing Garth, and he goes, Garth, like that, and I started doing that, which is very hard to do, sustain the, and then Mike started doing it. But yeah, they were, Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein. As a kid, watching that on television was like, perfection.
When he saw Frankenstein and couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
He was
What's the matter? What's the matter with you? I don't know. There's no one here. And he's just pointing. What are you talking about? Look, I'm going to go over here. I'll be back. I'll be back in 5 minutes. And then,
Dana, who invents that? Does Lou Costello invent that? Does the director say, "Hey, here's
I just wonder those early movie stars. Vaudeville was such a breeding ground for all the basics of comedy. In fact, apparently, I don't know that Abbott and Costello, Who's on First, had been performed by some other act at some point. It was
something. I heard that too. That it was a classic sketch in vaudeville, which they took. But I can't imagine anybody doing it better because they played it so real.
Absolutely. The timing. I mean, that's just, you can't beat those two actors doing that. No, because they're just,
it should be an NFT.
That would have required hours of rehearsal, days.
Yeah,
of rehearsal.
If that's to your point about this whole podcast. I mean, one little drop beat, one guy doesn't remember one tiny bit, and the whole thing is done in a second.
Yeah,
it has to be seamless. Yeah. But, it's very interesting, those vaudevillian stars who became movie stars, like the Marx Brothers, and kind of filmed their plays.
But if you look at the Marx Brothers today, they're not funny. I mean, the one joke of leaning against the building, what do you think you're doing? Holding up the building? And he walks away and the building falls down. That was a great comic thing. But mostly walking around, I don't know. It's not
biggest thing.
It's not funny.
I when I was a kid watching reruns was a little too old fashioned for me. I like Jerry Lewis.
But as a kid, that's kids' humor.
Yeah.
But the audiences that were being entertained in those early movies were serious people laughing at the Marx Brothers and the Harpo and the thing. Today it's like ludicrous.
Well, it was part of that 30s, class warfare.
I think I have this smart comedic palate. Meanwhile, I remember howling at Gilligan's Island. I mean, I don't know when I started deciding what was easy funny and what was smart funny, but we were talking about Bob Newhart earlier, and Bob Newhart was very dry, and I liked it for some reason, even though it was dry. And I was a kid going, this Smash was funny, but it wasn't really like in your face like a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but I liked corny shit too. So I think over time, my comedy, you start to decide what you like and what you want to focus on, I guess.
But there are basic tenets of comedy. Seeing the banana peel, guy coming, or the guy slipping, and then you see the banana peel. Those academic analysis of comedy.
They work.
They work. Yeah. It's absolutely truthful. So that's funny. you see the fat man coming, you see the banana peel, and and he slips, and you laugh. I mean,
you see it coming in your head, you're like,
funny.
oh,
It's
A plus
eternally
B.
funny.
Yeah.
It had to be when the guy put his axe down and brought in the dinosaur head, and then they did a joke about slipping on the dinosaur tail. That they had to have been laughing
Yeah.
a million years ago at that very basic comedy. On the other hand, slapping on the head and those jokes that the Marx Brothers did, and then the
Three Stooges,
then-
yeah. Hitting people. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's
hitting
funny.
people. It was funny then, but not funny now. And I guess that's the changing tastes of funny. Although I think there are eternals of comedy that remain from Greek times to now.
Well, they say there's only 12 notes, and everybody, the Beatles and Beethoven and everybody plays with those notes. And there's probably these basic tenets of comedy, and we're just keep redoing the stew.
Yeah.
And you try to add a little something.
You
extra
do your
to it.
version of that comedy. Yeah. Like people say,
Yeah.
oh, this movie is similar to that movie. And you're like, but it's two new people doing it 20 years later. And it's just different. But there are certain themes you're going to go into. The old girlfriend comes back, or you do this. So every comedy movie and every movie, you're going to fall into the same themes. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to put some spin on it, a little English to make it yours?
I was drawn to the musicality of Monty Python and Andy Kaufman and the non-punchline. So
There's a perfect
Yeah.
example of Kaufman
yes,
of the reality and how
played it so straight. Yeah.
he played it so straight. In fact, when he was on Taxi, that was funny. But when he did the wrestling, that wasn't funny.
Right. I was not a huge Andy Kaufman guy. Unpopular opinion.
Say that again.
I wasn't a huge Andy Kaufman guy. Like Mickey Mouse, maybe. To me, growing up when I was a
Thank
little
you very
younger,
much.
it had to have a payoff, or I didn't really get what was going on. And when everything was like wrestling was so straight, if it was a long play, I just wasn't grabbing it. And some of his stuff was really appreciated by a lot of comedians. And I was one of the few going, I like Taxi. I
I
got
was going to say,
Yeah.
what did you think of Taxi?
I did like it.
And his performance in Taxi.
Latka was
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, Latka.
Funny character.
It was funny. It was a real character.
Yeah.
And it was funny the way he talked and the way he acted. That was comedy.
Right. But then in his attempt, I mean, it's a really interesting. I'd be delighted to hear people talk about it. Andy Kaufman, did he desperately look for another gig in being the wrestler? Did he go nuts and think, I mean, what happened to Andy Kaufman being this wonderful actor?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, there was something, it was like live gladiatorian theater when he would go there, and then he loved playing. He was satirizing sort of the big time wrestling guy, being an anarchist in the arena and screaming at the crowd. But the late great Robin Williams told me a story once, who knew Andy back in that time, and he met him for lunch or somewhere, and he noticed that Andy had the wrestling clothes on underneath his real clothes. This is just him out in the world. And Robin remembers saying, "Oh, Andy, what are you doing? What are you doing?" Like maybe maybe he tipped over someplace that we don't know, where the line between performance and reality, I don't know. But
like you're trying to get people that are guessing ahead of what you're doing, and you're doing this long play, and then you do a joke that's too much of a long play, and you start to lose people because you're outthinking everyone. And at a certain point, he lost me.
Imagine the courage it took for Dick Shawn.
Yes.
Remember
I remember him very well. Died on stage.
Okay, so you remember the great joke he told of there's old grandpa coming up from the Civil War.
Yeah.
Here he comes. And he walks by.
Yeah.
The pretend grandpa walks by. He does 3 minutes preparing you for the grandpa to walk past him. What happens if the audience doesn't laugh? Which must have happened.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
How many minutes do you get away with keeping them?
I think
until they give up.
I think there's a lot of anger that floats around in comedy, and some of the best comedy. And I do think that Andy had his good measure. I sometimes stay at the Park of Meridian in New York, and they'll play Chaplin shorts in the elevator, and you just go.
Oh.
There's a lot of pathos, and it's brilliant, but there's a lot of anger floating around the way he walks and stuff. And comedians sometimes are the bullied ones, sometimes the underdog, and so that always is informing. I mean, I was before I had therapy more passive aggressive, people pleasing. This was my disease. But in my characters, the church lady was kind of cruel in a funny way. Hans and Franz said, I could beat you up. You're a loser. So you just wonder, if you turn the sound off and watch certain comedians, you just go, that's kind of an angry walk,
Well, and you could name those comedians right now.
I know, but we might get sued.
Right. Well, guys, it's been.
No, we're finished with part one. We'll take a break. No, Bill, I just want to say this has been so much fun, and I honestly don't know how you seem decades younger as you articulate and philosophize with us, and the strength of your voice. I don't really even understand it. I don't even need to have an answer. I'm just observing it.
I don't have an answer.
I don't have to have an answer.
Good. I don't have one.
But I do think just for the rest of us, and I remember Lorne Michaels saying this, you just keep going. There is no retirement in show business. You just keep going.
Well, that's the truth.
Yeah.
You just play older people, I guess.
Why not?
Yeah. But in your case.
I don't know anything else. I can't go be a carpenter now. This is it.
Right.
Well.
Right. There is a stage. That's another thing. When you're in your 20s, I've got grandchildren who want to be actors, they're 15, 16 years old. You could be an actor. So you're 20, 21, you're an actor, you're pretty, boy or girl, you've got physical beauty. And then you get to be about 30 and you're now half a step behind the 18-year-old coming up. You've got a decision to make. Are you going to continue?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're going through your passages. And you go through your 30s and you're still trying to do it. Now you're in your 40s. What are you going to do?
Okay.
No one thinks that far ahead.
No.
I think, yeah. I mean, what about the 50s? What happens in the 50s?
It's too late. And you're in your 50s. Well, no, you're both successful in that you've made a living. You've achieved a modicum of fame. And you have some treasure in your talent and in your bedroom. You got white sheets, for God's sake. But there come points in your life that being an actor is you don't have any skill to fall back on. You can't become a plumber in another. A plumber gains experience and gets to be a better plumber.
Right.
An actor gains experience and it doesn't matter.
Right. Well, when I grew up, all the comedians were old. It was just different. Bob Hope, Jack Benny, they were all in their 70s. Like
Yeah, but they manufactured a joke. They had a writer, or hopefully sometimes they wrote a joke. Yeah. And they would make a political joke, and it was funny. So you had a known quantity with a Bob Hope.
I want to tell you, a Jack Benny.
And you guys are the latter day Bob Hopes. You'll go to an event and be amusing in your character, in your comedy. You'll work till you're
what?
You fall off the stage, and that's not funny.
Dana's Carol Channing.
You can easily. Well, hello. I once I played Regis on a short film, and Carol Channing, I was running down a street in New York. I go, I gotta go get to David Letterman. I'm sorry, I've got to go. And Carol Channing was doing a cameo. I'm sorry, Carol, I gotta go. And so then I as Regis, I cold-cocked her and knocked her down. It's just stuff you do in show.
Dave's waiting for me. I'd love to talk to you. Honest to God, you're one of the greatest, but I gotta go.
Don't you love Regis's voice? I mean, wasn't it?
It's just something about it. Kid, you're terrific. You do the space things and all you're doing.
That's beautiful. You got it.
You're doing your tremendous job. Everybody's talking about it. You're the talk of the town. You were Captain Cook. You're Denny Crane. Who knows where you're going? You're in outer space. Ladies and gentlemen, William Shatner was here today, and I'm telling you something. It was quite a treat. Joy and I love you very much.
I
love the charm of
you.
Regis.
Guys, you two are wonderful together. You're going to make a smash
We're having
show.
fun.
And I'm delighted to be with you.
We're so glad to have you
Bye.
on, and keep doing what you're doing, and we'll have you back.
you.
The next time you go in space, we're having you back.
Perfect.
All right.
I'll be there.
Take care, Bill.
Good luck,
you, bud.
fellas.
Be,
Pleasure talking
be well.
to you.